Hello there, and welcome to the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people.
It's a trap!
All right. Welcome, everybody who is tuning in to watch us on your Saturday night. As always, well, almost always, I have Amanda from the Pop Break joining us tonight. How are you doing tonight, Amanda?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's always a lot of fun. And thank you for joining us on Saturday Morning Adventures.
That was a
Our
great
episode
time.
dropped.
I know. I got it shared everywhere. That was a great time. It was great getting to meet Alex and learning that y'all's that Riverside, the system that y'all use over there, is very noise sensitive.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
I've never realized that, but no, that was a great time. I'm looking forward to the next time that we can all get together and do it again.
Absolutely. Well, you'll be joining us this coming
I
week
will. I
as
will.
well to talk about the Acolyte.
Yeah,
So
let's
you're
plug that right now while we're at it. Let's go ahead and plug it. So that's
absolutely.
June 13th.
So we record on Thursdays, but the episode will drop on Friday.
Okay. So we
next
will be talking about on the 13th and dropping it on the 15th. Tracking. Yeah. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's the 14th. The 14th, because it's a Friday. So it
Oh,
drops on the Friday.
Yeah, duh, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we're
Sorry.
excited to have you. You get your double debut here because you
I
debuted
know.
for us on the Pop Break with today's episode that dropped of Saturday Morning Adventures. And now and then we get it's Jeffy Jeff week.
I know. I like it. And y'all had another Jeff on to
Yes.
discuss the first two episodes of the Acolyte, and
Yes, we did. We had a good friend of mine. His name is Jeff Gretler, over at the Dos Incredibles Network, and him and his co-host Mario Pena. I've been on there a couple of times, and they do a lot of fun reels and clips and talk a lot of pop culture. But he joined us to talk about the first two episodes of The Acolyte, and then of course the trailers for Venom and Alien Romulus, which I know we'll be.
we're going to get into those tonight
stuff.
too. Yeah.
So excited to hear what you think about those.
I'm excited to talk about them and excited to come up on the Pop Break. It was funny because like I seen Bill make his post about y'all talking about the first two episodes, and it said, and we welcome Jeff. I'm like, wait a damn. And I was like, oh, wait, there's another Jeff. So I made a comment on there about it. He's like, oh, dude, we're going to have to talk about this at the meeting of Jeffs. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got it on my calendar, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all would have a good time. He's good. He's good people. We call him our good brother. He's a retired wrestler.
Oh, okay, nice. I have to have him on.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. His video clips are hilarious. Danny Trejo.
I did watch a couple of them because I'm when it's another Jeff and he's running another podcast. I'm like, you know what? Let me see what this is all about. And I was cracking up within a couple, and I was like, all right, yep, he's a Jeff.
I know Jeffs are y'all Jeffs got to stick together because y'all
we do. And it was great. It was cool. So, but yeah, after this, you'll have to give me his contact info. We'll have to get in touch and we'll work something out. We'll get him on a USDN.
Awesome. I think you guys will have a great time. So, but Yeah, but I think we're ready to have a good time talking about, because I want to know what you think. I mean, I'll get that preview because I know I'll ask you a little bit about it, when we record on Thursday, but I want to know what you think about the Acolyte.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because let's just jump right on into it.
I'm like dying to know. I'm like, that's why I'm gonna check because I really want to know what you think.
So we're 100 years prior to um
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. Yes, holy shite! Thank you. And I'm loving the costumes. I really am. I love the really formal Jedi outfits they're rocking. The color scheme is on point. Coruscant looks like Coruscant, but you could tell from this Coruscant to the Coruscant in other movies how it's kind of evolved, which was kind of cool to see that it's evolved. I will say this: Carrie Ann Moss got a short stick. And that was like my biggest disappointment during this whole thing. I'm like, they've been parading her around, doing TV spots, interviews, talking about this show. Spoiler alert for anybody who ain't watched it yet. Sorry, folks. And then we get her for about 10, 12 minutes, and she's gone. But I know we're going to get her back. We're going to get some flashbacks with her. We're obviously going to learn more of this story on Osha and her sister as we go. We're kind of going to get a flashback story of why and where we're at in these first 2 episodes. I'm really liking the cast. It was really cool seeing all the like Lee Jung Jae, JJ as we're calling him from the other Netflix show, the Korean actor.
Squid Games.
Squid Games. I never watched
I,
Squid Games, so
I didn't either, but one of my best friends she watches some Star Wars, but she's not like a huge, Star Wars nerd. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to watch this because my guy from the Squid Games is on there."
Yeah.
So we're getting
I've seen it in other Korean shows, so
yeah.
I do like him a lot, but he learned English for the show, and he took Qui-Gon Jinn as like an inspiration. Like he watched Qui-Gon in the shows, in the movies, to help him learn English and how to act as a Jedi. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna pick somebody, you made a good choice. It's Qui-Gon Jinn, man.
He really channeled that energy. I
He
love
his mannerisms and everything. The way he's carrying himself is very Qui-Gon. So I was like, you can really see it in what he brings to the screen. And
and it's such there was a lot of smart choices going that route because what I like, I definitely appreciate that this is 100 years before the Phantom Menace, because basically the High Republic era started off, I want to say it's 500 years before.
I think you're right.
So yeah, so this is kind of the tail end of that era.
So we're also coming out of the Sith Wars and like all those wars prior to this, and they were kind of entering we're at peace right now. And this is that 100 years of peace they talk about before we get into the Phantom Menace and all those troubles that brew from there. Yeah.
And there's Sith aren't even on the radar. I mean, most of the High Republic era, they're fighting the Nile. And that's, of course, that's a whole different, not even close to Sith.
Yeah.
Seeing it's a whole different villain, and so it's interesting to see the contrast of how the Jedi are presented here, versus what we're used to seing and kind of being the survivors, if you will. So you have, of course, we're used to Obi-Wan, we're used to Qui-Gon, we're used to
Yoda.
And Yoda's alive around this time. Do you think we're going to see Yoda?
I think we get both Yoda and we get Waddle. They're both alive during this time frame. So we're talking creatures that live 900 plus years.
Yeah.
So they're both going to be in their 700s, 800s at this time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about right. And I also feel like we're going to get Master Cinnabe as well, the older Jedi that helps Ahsoka in the Clone Wars get her lightsaber back. I feel like he may show up. He's alive around this time too.
He would be, and that would be awesome to see him, because he was a fucking dinosaur. He was freaking cool.
Well, he got a live action debut in Mando in the Chamber of Horrors. in that whole.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, and that's like a
He
Master
deserved
Cinemae."
better. He
He did.
deserved
I was like,
better.
"Give him let us have him and, like, peak form, please, and not
Exactly.
just."
In this time frame, he would have been in his prime, so hopefully
Yeah.
we get that because 'cause I'm not sure, like, they never really mentioned. I know he in the Clone Wars, he mentioned something about how old he was, but he
Yeah.
never, like, gave a exact, like, age. He's just like, "When you've seen the things I have or lived
Yeah.
as long as I have, you've seen things." I'm like,
Yeah, I loved him. I loved him in the Clone Wars. It actually made me really sad when I saw him in Mando like that. I'm like, "Oh, this is not
yeah,
right."
yeah,
And, I wonder if we're gonna get I feel like one of the stills that leaked in the early trailers showed Plo Koon.
yeah, we could get Plo Koon. I'm not sure how his race ages, but it would be a very young Plo Koon, I would
Could
think.
be, could be. I
Yeah,
feel like it would be a much younger Plo Koon, because if he's fairly seasoned by the time he finds Ahsoka and, we get to
yeah.
the main events. So, I'm curious to see if we'll get him or someone of, similar being, if you will, or kind of his same race. So that
Yeah,
would
because
be
we really haven't seen much of the council yet. We've seen like the one the oh, what's her name? The other the Twilight hybrid. Um
not Ayla. Is it Ayla? That you're
yeah,
talking about?
Ayla.
Yeah, Ayla
Yeah.
Secura.
No, no, no. The green one in
Oh,
the Acolyte.
um, oh, you're talking about Vernestra Rowe.
Yes. Thank
Yes,
you.
but Barriss Offee is of the same race much later.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I'm like brain farting all over the place
Oh,
with this one.
no. There's a lot of details with the High Republic. Like, Vernestra Rose stuck out to me because I remembered her. She's one of the main characters. Her younger self is one of the main characters in, like, some of the comics and the
Mhm.
kids content for the High Republic book era. So, and for people who are worried, like, do I need to read the High Republic books? Which
No.
they're great, by the way. The comics are really good.
Black
I,
Horse did a
yeah,
fantastic, and
the
they're still
comics are
doing
excellent.
a fantastic job with
Yeah,
the High Republic stuff. And me and Slimo over at Slimo Training on Whatnot have been saying this for months now. Get in on the High Republic now before it skyrockets in value.
yeah, it's
Because it's
going
going
to.
to. It is
It's
going
going
to
to.
big time.
Yeah, they're fantastic. You don't necessarily have to read them. They're great reads, but it's not necessary to know a lot of the Jedi. There's a lot of new names, not necessarily required for this show. For Nestra though, it's a nice little Easter egg for people who have read.
She
Um,
is.
so that was
And I'm pretty sure somewhere in one of these boxes behind me, there is quite a few comic books with her on the cover. And it's cool seeing her. The
yeah.
whole thing to me has been, I know a lot of people are, it's being shat on.
Oh yeah.
We've only gotten 2 episodes. There's no reason to shit on something 2 episodes in.
No, it's like give it a chance. And I mean, one of the, I've heard people say everything from, but there's no Skywalkers.
Who
And I'm
gives a
like,
shit? This is before they were ever born.
exactly. And I'm like, what I love about Star Wars is that there's so many stories that you can tell. And they don't necessarily have to revolve around the Skywalkers. It's just one segment. But when you're
Yeah.
going back, and we know all of us who've been fans for a while, with the old Republic era and now High Republic era, like there was a lot of cool stuff that happened
Yeah.
at that time and like
The
set a
old
lot of
Republic
people sick.
era and the new
Oh,
Republic era, there's so many good stories that can be told out of there. And I know Leslie Headland, she has mentioned wanting to make a Knights of the Old Republic, either a TV
yeah.
show or movie. Man, that would be a fantastic TV series, in
It
my
would.
opinion.
It would.
Base it off
Although
the video game, and it would be even better.
see, I'm torn about that because I want it's one of those where I'm like, I want the big fights to happen in a theater. Maybe they'll do
Well,
like a
they
simulcast or something, or
yeah,
like
like they did with Mando and
yeah.
Ahsoka. There was episodes where they were like, go to the theater and watch it for $15 in IMAX.
Yeah, like they could even like if you stream, or do a TV show for the first few episodes and then like kind of like what they did with Andor and Ahsoka. It's like here's your mid because with Disney they
Yep.
always hit with episode 5. It's like okay, episode 5 we're gonna special premiere in theaters. as well. I know they did that here for the Acolyte too with the first 2
Yep.
episodes. People were able to go ahead of time, but I mean, can you
Yeah,
imagine going to
those were
see?
invite onlys.
Yeah, they were. If well, you had to try to go claim your seats, and yeah, my internet
Yeah.
doesn't like me, so there we are. I didn't
Yeah.
get them. I was like, eh. But
That
it
would have
worked
meant me
out.
leaving the house and, like, going to a movie theater, and I'm just not about that life yet.
It's not, I
I'll get there eventually.
It is. I think for me, I'm enjoying it more. It's nice being back in the movies. Hi, Joseph.
Hey,
Thanks.
Joseph, how are you, bud?
But
Um,
yeah, it's nice to kind of get back out there, depending on what it is, and get the experience again. And
yeah, the last
you
time I
know,
went to the movies was, I think me and my daughter went and seen, Bad Boys 3,
nice.
and
Okay.
then I also did, I rented the theater back during COVID for Jujutsu Kaisen Arc that came to
Yeah.
the
For
theater.
zero. Yes.
Yeah, so I rented the theater for my daughter and a bunch of her friends, and, it was fun. It like, I've
Yeah.
never seen Jujutsu Kaisen before,
Oh, it's one of my favorite animes.
and, I enjoyed that arc. I enjoyed the
Zero
hell
is
out of it,
great. Zero
and,
was a fantastic movie. I'm glad you liked it. It's fantastic.
let's see what we got here. Oh, no, we appreciate you stopping by and
Yeah.
hanging out with us while we talk about the Acolyte, and we're gonna hit some rumors and some other news here in a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I'm curious to see what you think about, or what your thoughts of, or how the Jedi are kind of, they come across here, especially like when you see like Yord and some of the other, what's up, Kelvin?
What's up, brother?
But some of the other, like the other Jedi we're seeing compared to who we're used to. Like, what are your thoughts on how the Jedi
I'm
come across
enjoying
here?
seeing different Jedi right now. It's a breath of fresh air to me to see different characters that we've not seen yet. And not just not seen yet, but characters that are no longer with us by the time we get to the Phantom Menace. Outside of like Yoda and a couple of others, Plo Koon maybe, perhaps. And to me, it's like I said, it's like a breath of fresh air breathed into the franchise itself. Despite like people not liking the stories and like 2 episodes deep, give it a break.
I thought the story setup was really good.
I mean, I'm liking it. I'm liking like we have this set of twins, Osha and I think May,
Yes.
and both believes the other are dead until what's her name ends up dead, and then they're like, oh well, Osha killed him. They're like, well, how can she kill him when she's been aboard this ship working as a mechanic for who of all people? The Trade Federation.
Right. The irony. I was like, wow, the hate has been there for a while now.
I'm like, damn, that hate runs deep. And there's
Oh,
again
same.
there and Kelvin sitting there right on. There is conflict within the Jedi Order around these two kids who both believe the other's dead. And I gotta say, what's her name? The girl who plays Osha. Is it
Oh, it's
Amanda?
Amanda
Amandla.
Steinberg.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, they do a really solid performance, because it's tough to
And
play
she's not.
twins. It's
She's
tough to play
playing
twins.
twins, and there's only one of her, and they're both very different in how their mannerisms are and their characters are. And but good on her, man. She's killing it. And oh, by the way, if you didn't see the video of her playing the Star Wars theme on violin, you have missed out. Because the writer, the guy who writes all the music for Star Wars, wrote her a special piece on violin just for her, and they have her in studio recording it, and it is fantastic. She's a fantastic violinist. Come on, what's not
Yeah.
to like about her? And I
I
think she's
mean,
done a fantastic job.
yeah, and again, I thought the story, the setup, the character introductions, everything, the pacing was on point. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I know you brought up Carrie Ann and her character Master Andara kind of eating it
Mhm.
about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, so
I I was surprised, but I wasn't
yeah,
surprised. I had heard like kind of some pockets and rumors here and there that people were
yeah,
like, "Oh, she's going to die the first episode." Now, I was surprised it happened 10
in
minutes
10
in.
minutes.
And I mean, I loved the fight scene because we don't have like the
It is a
Jedi
really good
that style.
non-traditional fight
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, it
And
was
we so far
amazing.
we have not got a traditional like lightsaber duel. And
Oh,
honestly it's been different. Like they're using the force to
yeah.
fight. Similar to what we got in Ahsoka with what's his name? Oh my god. Ezra,
Uh, yes.
when he gave up his lightsaber and he was just using the force. Conflict within the Jedi Order. What conflict? Okay.
Well, I would say like for the conflict part of it, it's you have there's some pockets of Jedi where it's very political, and I think this is
Mhm.
kind of the predecessor to what we see
Yep.
in the Phantom Menace.
Mhm.
The and it's kind of coming from the High Republic era. It's like they were very much political figureheads. It's like
Yep.
I think in the even with the Starlight Beacon going back to 500 years ago, the Jedi out there were going out there for the ceremonial cutting, and like it's a lot of politics
Yeah.
and less about the Force.
I mean, and it's also they were using Jedi during this time, or they're coming out of a time when they were using Jedi kind of as regional governors almost, where they were assigned an area and they patrolled and policed kind of those areas. And the conflict between Lee Jun Jae's character and
And Vernestra is
and
probably
Vernestra,
yeah.
yeah, because they have two like different opinions on like, no, we have to bring her in, she has to stand trial for this murder. And then Lee Jun Jae's character going, no, I know her, she wouldn't do this.
It's
So
like
we're getting those,
feelings versus politics.
yeah. And he's very much his character is similar to, again, very much like Qui-Gon when it came to Anakin, we're talking about Osha and how he feels about her. And then his new Padawan, Daphne Keen, who Etch 23, by the way. It's kind of cool seeing her in something else
Yeah,
beside being Etch 23, and which we're going to see her again here soon in Deadpool, hopefully. They're being very tight-lipped about it.
I agree.
But
I think she will. I think
but
she
she
will.
she even brings it up that why do you keep these things of your former Padawans when attachments aren't allowed? He's like, and the way he explains it was wonderful. Just it's not an attachment. I forgot how he explained it exactly, but it was very
Well,
very Jedi way to
yeah.
explain the
Well, and
like
it's not it's about learning from many mistakes, growing from the experience. It's a teaching, kind
yes,
of a teaching kind of for him to be a better teacher. You
yes,
learn from what you do with your Padawans.
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, oh,
Like I just
I
watched
loved
it,
that.
and I'm
That was
like,
so good.
it really was.
But yeah, oh, I loved Daphne Keene in this as Jackie. She was
Jackie is awesome, and she's very like you can tell she just absorbs everything her master tells her. And when she was flying the ship in that one scene, and she's like, "You're under arrest" or whatever, and like May is like legit, like the way she does kicks up the dust storm and then just disappears again. I was like, all right, cool. Like she's gonna be a great little villain in this, like kind of, because we still got to find out who's behind the mask and who's her master. So it's going to be interesting how exactly they got her out when they're like, well, we couldn't get her out. So who actually got her out and saved her?
yeah. I see. The one I'm curious about is Manny Jacinto's character, Kimir, the
The
the the
Night
shop
Sister.
guy.
Oh,
The
okay,
shop guy.
yeah, the stop guy. Okay,
He's got a lot up his sleeve,
he
more so
does.
than
And
I
he's
think
playing several different stories at once with him. Like he's got ulterior motives on top of ulterior motives. It seems.
he's more than just kind of a shady criminal. Like he knows a lot about the dark side and
Mm-hmm.
about, kind of this, like I think the first line he quotes is a Sith, is from the Sith teachings.
It
And
is.
so I'm
Yep.
like, there's something here
I
for
don't think he's
sure.
the master.
No.
but he is. I know they're connected to the Master, like both of them. I don't know if he's a dark side user or if he's just or what. But he's definitely going to be an interesting character to watch as we go.
Because he comes across as, I'm not really that threatening. I'm just like kind of a shady thief. I got to cut a living. And it's like, no, bro. You
this dude's
straight up
literally
quoted
quoting the
Sith.
Sith teachings here. So we'll see. He may turn out to be somebody else we know from in the future as well, or we heard of. We don't know yet. Who knows who he turns into later.
Yeah.
But
do you have any thoughts on who the Master is? Any guesses?
I don't really, because I got a feeling it's like we all know who we want it to be, but I got a feeling we're not going to get what we want out of this. It's going to be something. I got a feeling if you've read the Legends and you've read the High Republic stuff, you're going to know and be like, damn, I didn't see that one. Or you're going to be like, I fucking called it. But I don't want to put nothing out there that like, oh, over at USDN, they're saying this. No. Do you have a thought on it though?
I do. I have a guess.
Let's hear it. Let's hear yours.
So, but I want to hear yours too. We're not now. We can disclaimer that we're not like whatever we're saying is not official. This is just speculation. This is speculation.
I'm thinking, I don't know how long Sidious's master. What was his name?
Plagueis.
Yeah,
he's alive. I want to say around this time. Like
I want to say he's a young one, a young Plagueis the Wise. I want to say it's him, just because it would set everything up that we've already seen. So, but who knows?
He's a pretty obvious choice. Like I think he's a very wanted choice.
Joseph, please tell us who do you think it is?
Drop in the comments if y'all have any guesses.
Yeah, please. We want to know everybody's guesses. If you're watching, let us know. I know there's 4 of you watching. Let us know.
See, at first I thought, I'm like, well, because Darth Plagueis's master is alive at this time too, and that's Darth Tenebrous.
Tenebrous, yeah.
So
that would be a really good one too.
That might be solid, but I'm like, we're talking about the Acolyte in the title here. Didn't he had Darth Venomous as well at the same time as Plagueis?
Yeah, he did have 2.
Yep. So they broke the rule of 2. So I'm like,
they all break the rule of 2.
It. So I'm like, well, Venomous is technically an Acolyte.
Yeah, true.
He's not a real Sith. Because there can only be 2 Siths at a time. So I'm like, that's a possibility too. Because I feel like Plagueis is going to show up, but I feel like he's going to be a season 2. Because that puts us closer. That puts us closer to the events of Phantom Menace and starts.
And supposedly he was in Phantom Menace when they found, like, he's there. Rumored that he was there when he introduces Darth Maul. Yeah. Like he was there.
He was there. So I'm kind of wondering, that would make sense for a season 2 hook to get people
I like that.
To the 100, towards the Phantom Menace period. But I feel like it's either, Darth Tenebrous is a guess for me, but also I kind of am leaning towards Venomous because, he's got to be removed out of the way.
Quimir.
Yeah. Like Quimir. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. No, so, I'm just excited to see. Like, I really want to know, because we never, like, even in the books and the comic books, we don't get a lot of details on these people. I mean, we get their names, we get these things thrown around, but there's always somebody else out there, like, as the face of these people. So we'll see. I'm excited to see where it's going, and honestly, I think it's we're getting 10 episodes or 8.
I believe 10.
10.
I believe.
Yeah, because we're going until July on this one, I think.
Yes, because it's running neck and neck with House of the Dragon.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a great day to be a nerd. We got both of those shows.
Well, I'm watching. I'm actually season 3, episode 8 of The Boys right now. Playing catch up. Oh, it's 8 episodes. 8 episodes. Thank you, Joseph.
Okay. Oh yes, thank you.
And I'm just trying to play catch up on the Boys before that new season comes out here soon. You want to be surprised? No, that I don't blame you, dude. I kind of want to be surprised, but I also kind of want to be like, damn, I called it.
Well, just give me both. Give me a happy surprise and be like, okay, I wasn't too
Yeah,
far off.
I'm the same way. That's the way I see it. I just want a good story. I like the way the story is going. I know a lot of people aren't liking it, but I don't know if they're just not liking it because it's Disney Star Wars or because it's Leslie Headland or it's Kathleen Kennedy. Ugh. Oh, the
I
fact I just said that name out loud. But anyways,
but I
I, I
mean,
w-
I like the
nobody.
twofold story.
I do too.
You got the master, and then what did the Jedi do? That's what I want to know. She's targeting these four.
Yeah.
What did they do? And then of course we saw Torben just take the poison, like he's the vow, the vow, everything. I'm like, now I'm
Which I
dying to
finally
know.
realized where he's from, and it's from Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. And I spent 10 minutes a day, like, oh, fuck, Game of Thrones. That's where I recognize this guy from. He was younger then, he was a kid. And,
Yeah.
but no, it's cool. I know that she's trying to kill these four because they were the ones that were there the day that May started the fucking fire. Like, she's the one that started the fire that killed her family. But yet you want to go and kill the people who you blame for it when there's nobody to blame but yourself, which is like the most Sith thing to do.
That and actually I want to say Bill had a theory that maybe the Jedi were mind controlled and they just didn't know it by the Sith.
That's very much true. I mean, they could be, because I mean they're not used to having Sith at this point.
Right.
There's no Sith. There's no dark side users that they're aware of. Even Yoda in the later episodes after this, he couldn't feel the dark side, and he also fell for it. So and I know during this time where they're at peace and there's been no Sith for a millennia. So very well we could be looking at something like that because they're not used to having that kind of force users around. So they could have been brainwashed or manipulated into doing something that they haven't realized.
Yeah, or Torben did, and he just
And
kind
that
of
might have
like,
been
well,
why he was in such a deep state of meditation, was because of that. So
yeah, because the vow is the Baractic, or I can't say it, pronounce it correctly, but it's a particular vow. It's in the comics.
it is. And and he's not the only one who's in the middle of one right now in the High Republic. There's a couple
No,
more.
yeah, and so this was really interesting. It made me wonder, like, did May herself actually start the fire? I have that question too. I was like, or was it pinned on her?
And that's what I'm wondering. And I got a feeling we're going to get that played out in flashbacks in this. And Joseph's pretty hitting it really good right here. It's a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool way to do a murder mystery. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, I liked, again, the dual mystery because you have the two questions of who is the master and what really
Yep.
happened that night, and I'm here
Yep.
for it. And
And
I know
absolutely.
I know people were mad about Carrie Ann Moss in the 10 minutes, but I don't think, looking back on that, I think it was actually smart in a way because
It
one,
was.
yeah, it hooked you because you're
It
like,
did.
what
Now
the
I got to know what the hell was so bad for her to die in the first 10 minutes. So
exactly. And then the second, it was smart to kind of, because everyone was familiar with her. I think not having her around helped people connect to the other characters,
it
especially
did.
with Master Soul and Kelbaka. We're getting another
Chewbacca is
Wookiee.
going to be like, we got that tease at the end of episode 2 with him when the people were trying to break into his crashed ship. And I'm just like, hell yeah. And he's not supporting his Jedi robes at the time. So he's just like out there looking at.
Maybe well, I'm curious to find out how long do you think he's going to be around for?
Well, considering we've already lost 2 of the 4, I got a feeling he will at least meet up with the others. And I got a feeling he will go out with on a shield. I don't think he'll take it laying down like Torben, right?
Yeah.
I don't
He's
think
just,
he'll take it like he did. Because she
uh,
still has to kill a Jedi without a weapon
yeah.
for her master.
I don't know if I'd go up against a Wookiee with no weapon.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. No.
I mean, she tried even with Master Soul though, and that fight scene.
That fight scene was phenomenal. And he never drew a weapon.
No.
No. It was all force. And it
Oh.
was amazing. That scene, I was like, this is like the way they're using the Force, even with the Carrie Ann Moss fight, the way she used the Force without having to pull her weapon was something we didn't get that until Ahsoka with Ezra. That's when we got something like that, and we went 9 episodes of the Star Wars and never seen anything like that. Well, Vader in Obi-Wan did that to one of the sisters.
Oh, I'm like Vader, Obi-Wan. Oh no. Yes, I know who you're talking.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't think of her name.
I loved. Don't get me wrong. I love Ewan McGregor. I love Hayden Christensen. Kenobi was not my favorite.
It wasn't,
It's not my
and
favorite.
I don't think it got a good script or the love it deserved or what it
No.
could have been.
So a lot of those is kind of like Boba Fett. I kind of blocked out some of I kind of blocked out some of that.
Yeah.
A little bit, minus the lightsaber
Hang on.
battles, which were beautiful. Um, but yeah, that was yeah. So I'm not gonna remember the twins. I'm not gonna remember the sisters' names, but
No.
but what I loved about this, you felt like a lot of martial arts influence, and I
Mhm.
geeked. I feel like with Carrie Ann Moss, she channeled her Trinity.
She
I was like,
did.
"Thank you
Did
for
you
my
notice
Matrix."
that there was some
Yes,
stuff in there from the Matrix?
yes.
Like when she did I was like,
Just a
"Oh,
little, or even just,
Trinity."
I know. I was like, ah, that was me. It was so
No,
great.
I'm right there with you. And if there's people sitting on their couches right now, pissy in their britches over Carrie Ann Moss, but deep down inside, they were sitting on their couch like the rest of us, going, "Yeah,
Oh, it was so good, and
Trinity,
I loved
Viva."
Riva. There we
Thank
go.
you,
There
Brian.
we go.
I can always count on Brian.
I'm like, there it goes. I was like, my brain, there we go. Now it's Kenobi's back in the brain.
Yeah.
But what I loved was the contrast in those fights too, because Carrie Ann's precision, like she just had this knife cutting precision, and like
Mm-hmm.
Lee Jung Jae is super fluid. Even like with his lean backs and everything, like it was just
It was like a Matrixy, John Wickish like dance, and it was just a beautiful scene to watch. I'm probably going to end up watching it again, to be honest, the first 2 episodes, just because
I've
both those fight scenes were that good to me.
I've watched it a couple of times already.
I've watched the fight scenes a couple of times already on YouTube, but like I really want to sit down and like kind of dissect them a little bit more before I meet up with y'all on the 13th to record.
Yeah,
But
it's there's so much good stuff here, and a lot of the Easter eggs. I mean, I love the fact that we went to new planets. It did,
it did,
Brian.
yeah,
It
very much.
did. It did. And I love that we went to new planets. And I love that we went to Karlak too.
Yep.
I was like, okay, hello, Clone Wars. Thanks for bringing me back.
Exactly.
Thanks for the love.
Exactly. Before it became war torn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was cool to see before it got just like shellacked in the
I was
Clone
like,
Wars.
I know. I was like, "What's up, Death Watch? We're here." But it also had already had a little bit of a war kind of situation with the Galactic Republic and the Nile. It's already a
It
former
did,
battle
yeah.
site, so I was like, "Ooh, this is great." Did I geek out? Yeah.
But you could tell it's recovered though. It's like
Yes.
it's in that stages of recovery, and like it looked good. Like the scenery. So I know this was filmed. I got it written down here. It took place in London and in Shiddenfield Studios in Berkshire.
Ah,
And
okay.
then
Okay.
they also filmed in Wales and Portugal. So I'm guessing all the wooded scenes like with were filmed in Portugal. And then some
Okay.
of the Highland stuff were filmed in Wales, I'm guessing. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's what's crazy is so this was filmed 2022 to 2023.
yeah,
So it's been they've just been like hacking on it and probably doing reshoots for over a year now.
I mean, I'm here. I'm happy that we got out to real scenery and not just kind of in kind of the as cool as the technology is to film like Mando and to film, some of the other Disney shows that they have, in studio and all of that. It's nice to get out and see beautiful scenery
I will always
as
enjoy
well.
getting to see scenery and them
Yes.
shooting outside. Like there's some stuff in Ahsoka where they were filmed outside, and it was just like the area they were filming in was amazing.
Oh
Like it
yeah.
fit the vibe so well.
And I'm like, and if you can leverage both of those elements together, it's just, the payoff is really beautiful. And
It
I'm like, for all those Instagram people that do like all the influencing on create the travel reels, if I'm going to give you
mhm.
guys an idea, please go to these places,
Yes,
create
because
the
they're
reels, and
they're
tell us where to
amazing.
go.
Exactly. Like I like there's a Facebook page. Well, it's like Star Wars. It's like sci-fi, but it's people who visit places where sci-fi movies and Star Wars and Star Trek and these places were filmed, and they take pictures. Like, do they do the side by sides with the picture they took and the picture of from the show, and they put them together. It's really cool to see how it actually looks there.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So I'm like, I'm here for
Exactly.
it. I'm here for it. If and you're welcome. Y'all can just tag us and give us credit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh
Um,
man.
so we'll wrap up with Acolyte with this. Where do you see by the time we get to episode 8? Do you see it like what kind of time jump do you think we're getting in here? Are we staying within like, oh, this happens within like a month, or do you think by the time season 2 comes around that, hey, we're going to be like 50 years forward?
I think it's going to depend on how well this season does with how big the time jump is for season 2. Because for season 2, if they feel like there's going to be a struggle with people really needing Skywalkers to stay tuned in, then I can see like a 50. I hope we don't.
Yeah,
We don't
we
need
don't
any
need
more
it.
Skywalkers. I mean, you can only, and I know, and I love Hayden Christensen. I really do. I think he deserves all the flowers that he's getting. I think he's been used very strategically so far. So let's not overdo it. And bring in Anakin, which would be the most logical choice, if you will, because obviously we don't have Luke and Leia right now. But that's the most logical Skywalker that's closest. I just hope that they don't.
It's not needed.
It's
I
not
I think
needed.
if we
I
time jump, in my opinion, we stay within this 100 years we're speaking
Yes,
of before we get to the Phantom Menace,
yes,
and you give us something that gets us a little closer to that, or even
yes.
2 more seasons to get us to something like that. That's what I would like to see, is this go for at least
Yeah.
3 seasons.
I think 3 seasons is a good call, and I feel like this season is going to focus on the wrapping up the immediate mystery.
Yes. Ooh, the
What
end
did he
of
build the
episode
most?
1, they revealed the Master's voice and what the Master looks like. What did you both think of that voice? And it sounded very muffled and not a clear male voice. And they did that very strategically as
Yes.
not to give us anything. I don't even think they've like gave us an actor yet who or actress
No.
who may be behind the mask. They similar to what they did with Merrick and Ahsoka before we learned he was just green mist. They've kept it very tight-lipped. I mean, we knew who the actor was playing him, but we didn't know what exactly his story was. He ends up being just, he was one of the brothers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel like I hope we don't get Green Mist again. Although it
yeah.
worked for Ahsoka, it
It
did.
worked in Ahsoka because we were dealing with the
You
witches.
know, Joseph, I there is a female Sith that is alive, and I think
It
I know where
is.
you're going and your
Yeah.
guess, and I think
I think
this
that's
is
a
the
fire choice too.
yeah, this could be
And
it,
she was like the Sith of Sith. She did not fuck around.
no, that's my thought too.
Pardon my French on that, but she was like, people were legit scared of her. The Sith mentioned her name and their skin crawled. Speaking of her,
Yeah, her, my significant other and I were talking about possible Sith that could show up for this, and Darth Geen was one that came up in discussion. I'm here like I would love to see her because you get like female Sith going because we never have any. Oh, okay, okay. Which one are you? Let's see.
come
I'm
on,
confused.
Joseph, you're fucking teasing us, bro.
Let me see.
I'm waiting for him to speak.
I know. I'm waiting too. I'm
Hey,
curious.
we were close to having your SO here
I
tonight,
know. I
but
know. But he's
he's off doing an awesome opportunity. And when he told me what he was doing, I was like giddy with joy for him because I know he is
thank
right
you.
now. And I know you are. I could just tell from the smile.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Really? Holy shit.
Interesting.
That's an
Okay.
interesting choice, dude.
I like that. That would be quite
Actually,
the
I do
twist.
too. That is a
I
dude,
did
that
not
is a
even consider that.
I didn't either. Because
Well,
all
because
things
her
considered about her, I wouldn't think about that.
no, and the way that she's been marketed so far,
Yeah.
that would be a twist.
But it
Because
also
she's
would make
marketed as a kid's character.
yeah. But
That
also she's very like this. Like she's very by the book Jedi.
yeah, that would be something.
I don't know. I'm kind of
Because
digging
we
that
because
idea.
because we don't have there's this gap between again what we're getting in the High Republic
Mm-hmm.
content up to this point. Because I actually brought that up when we talked about it too for episode 1 or the first 2 episodes when we did ours. It was, you know, we have this very different interpretation of her here, and
Mm-hmm.
she's a little bit more open and a little bit more adventurous. Because I mean, you're young, you think you're invincible, you're a prodigy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting that vibe in the what we have in the comics and the kids content so far. So I was like, I'm curious to see what happened between then
They
and
do have
now
a
to
High
get her.
Republic from Black Horse that is actually marketed more toward the kids.
Yes,
And she's like this all-star in it.
yeah, and
And like
she
she's
shows up.
legit
She
really
is.
good. And she's very by the book Jedi for that time frame. But yeah, no. I'm digging it, dude.
That's a good theory. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
I
Oh,
didn't
what a
either.
twist. I love it.
No, now like if that right there to me, like that's enough to tune in right there. So if y'all were listening to USDN when I drop this next Wednesday and it ends up being Venestra, all props to Joseph here, man. That's a good theory and I'm
It
happy you
just
shared it with us, man.
it
That's
just
amazing.
depends. Just depends on how much more High Republic content they're gonna market with her in it.
Yeah, so
If we
and
see a
here's the thing, we
decrease.
need so 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. People got on there and shat on it on Rotten Tomatoes. And people need to pull their fucking head out of their asses. And this is my rant for this. Frank D would normally be doing the rants, but he's not here today, so I'm giving it to you. Pull your heads out your asses, open up your fucking minds, and just enjoy the damn show. We're getting new Star Wars people. That should be enough to make you all happy. Instead of getting on Rotten Tomatoes and fucking shitting on it. Let's not do that. Let's 8 episodes here, people. Let's enjoy these 8 episodes of new Star Wars. And if you want to shit on it after the fact because it was a shat story, then by all means, go for it. But until then, let's not do that. All right, cool. I'm done.
I'm okay.
No, that's my plan. I'm definitely going to rewatch it because she's a lot more strict, it seems, on the show.
Yeah. It's a different vibe for sure on
Yeah.
the show. So it made me curious to see what happened, between I guess what I was reading, because she shows up in some of the young adult books too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So I mean it's a very
Ooh.
viable theory.
While we're talking about Verns, Vern was the name of Ernest.
Yes.
No, what you mean, Vern?
Yep. I
That's
wonder if you're going
every
there with that one.
yeah. I was like, every time I hear it, like, now I gotta go watch some Ernest just because
Because it's Ernest. He's great.
it's Ernest. He's great. Yeah. His greatest luxury he ever bought himself was a Rolex and a DeLorean. That's how down to earth and cool that dude was. A twin turbo DeLorean and a Rolex was like his greatest possessions. But for him, it was all about family, which was really cool.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I think right now I think I'm safe to say this since I think he's wrestling right now, but I went to a VHS swap here in San Antonio. So
Nice.
yeah, so lots of, if you're in the San Antonio area, go check out. We have Gigi's Emporium here. They are fantastic. They sell vintage toys, videos, comics. Like their
That's my
collection is
vibe right there. I
outstanding.
like that.
Yeah, so if you're visiting in San Antonio, go check out Gigi's Emporium. And they had a
Especially
VHS.
comics.
Yes, they had a bunch of Star Wars comics. They have, so yeah, they have
I would
a
drop my
ton of stuff.
check. Just be like, here. I
That's
want
pretty
that
much
box right there.
that's what happens when I go. And they have a huge Star Wars toy collection and reasonably priced, like nothing like insane.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of like, horror type of stuff. Like they have a wide variety of things there. So,
So
and the
here,
owners are great.
well, we're talking
Um,
about Star Wars toys.
yes.
The Mandalorian prototype for Boba Fett, the original, that shot the rocket out of his back before
Oh
they
yeah.
banned those, just sold for $500,000.
Oh
Half
wow.
a million dollars for a piece of plastic that shot a rocket out of his back.
You know what? When
The
you love Star Wars,
prototype.
you love it. You love it.
It is awesome.
It's
Like,
amazing.
I was like dumbfounded by that price. I knew it was going to fetch a nice price, but 500 grand, like $500,000, I was not expecting it to go for.
Jeez.
Yeah,
But I mean, you do what you got to do for when you love something. And
exactly. And that's a lot of love. That's $500,000 worth of love to give somebody. Well, to give a
exactly.
piece of plastic that shoots a rocket out of his back, because it's the only one. They
Yeah.
never went to the, like, they had the commercial with it, and then there's another company that was making another toy that shot rockets out, and kids were getting injured from them. So Hasbro seen that and was like, no, we can't make this. We can't catch lawsuits because this thing shoots rockets out of its back. So they never made it. So it makes it even more rare and even more special.
$500,000 a special though. That's crazy. That's cool
It was
though.
actually like 538 million, something like that. Yeah,
Oh, that's
it was
amazing.
nuts. But
Like I found a VHS of, it was like an Ernest VHS, but it was like of like bloopers and
oh, that would be so
commercials.
awesome.
I
Because that
found
dude is
that.
hilarious.
Oh, I know. And I got it for this one.
Oh, you
So
had to.
I had
He's
to.
gonna love that.
Yeah.
He
So,
will.
but yeah,
He'll have a flocking great time watching it.
exactly,
See what I did
exactly.
there?
I
See what I
liked
did
it. I
there?
liked it. And so, yeah, so go support your comic book stores, your vintage toy stores. They know where it's at. And
That's
I
always
mean,
my plug. But I'll let you
exactly.
have it
I'm
because I
like, I'm
always plug the local comic shops.
got to do that. I'll add my voice to Jeffy Jeff's over here and
I appreciate
add
it.
that, because I mean that you find some amazing things at your local stores that you're
You
not going to
do.
find anywhere else.
You do.
So
Hit those
it
dollar
was,
bins. You'll be surprised what's in the dollar bin.
and it's great. It's
It is.
great. So
Well,
are we gonna, we got some trailers to talk about though, right?
yeah, let's jump into some nerd news. Let me see where. Oh, let's start with Godzilla -1.
Ah,
I finally watched it. It came out to streaming on Netflix with
what
subs
did you
and
think?
dubs.
What did you think?
It took it 70 plus years to win. What was it? A Grammy or no, an Academy Award, right?
Yes.
One of the two. Fucking well deserved. In about damn time. It was phenomenal to watch. Happy ending, which was amazing to see, with him finding his wife, girlfriend, significant other. Like, they found each other after the war, which is like a love story of love stories to me. So it was really cool. Godzilla was a straight beast in it. Zero fucks whatsoever. But it was great. It was done great. The story was good. It's you could tell it's kind of like meant to be like the very first, even before the stuff in the 70s or the 60s, whenever it was. This is meant to be like before that. This is like his origin story, I guess you could say. It felt like. But no, I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's on streaming right now. I know everybody has Netflix. You can get yourself a Netflix subscription free for 30 days. Just come up with a new email.
Yeah, I mean it is outstanding. I've been telling people since we saw it in theaters, and I mean, this is the first time I've ever cried in a Godzilla movie. I've seen
Dude, the human
yes,
story in this alone is
and
so good.
that's why I cried because I was like,
Yes.
you never really get a sense of the people, or they're just kind of like
No.
passerbys in the other Godzilla movies. It's about the
Yeah.
kaiju, right? In the other Godzilla movies,
This is
and
about the human in Godzilla secondary.
yeah, it was so good, so moving. And, again, I've never cried in a Godzilla, and I've seen them all, and I love
Mhm.
them all. Um, it's my son and I love watching Godzilla movies. He's watching
As
one
you should.
downstairs right now.
As you
Yeah,
should.
it's one of the first things I showed him when he was, old enough to watch movies with
Exactly, you
me.
gotta start 'em
So
young.
right, that and Star Wars. It's like that's how
Yes.
you do it. Now we're diving into anime, but that's what
It's
we
a
do to bond.
natural progression of things.
It is, and
Uh,
wrestling. We watch wrestling together too now.
man,
So it's
I would hope so.
yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine
Now
he's front row with you on some of these.
usually yes, he is and enjoys it, and now he doesn't get yelled at because Brandon's a good guy now. He's a face. He's not a heel, so he doesn't get yelled at anymore
He's
at
having a
the shows.
flocking good time.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. But Godzilla, man,
let
y'all
let
need to go see this.
let's, Amanda, this is completely up to you. We keep talking about wrestling and Brandon and everything. Let's tell the people what we're referring to. Are you good with that?
I am totally fine with that. So,
Okay, I'll
so
let you
my
go.
so my significant other is a professional wrestler. He's an indie wrestler here in Texas. He goes by Brandon Weiss, and of course, graduating out of the Hybrid School of Wrestling. So, if y'all haven't watched or followed the Hybrid School of Wrestling, you should. In
Very
fact, if
much.
you're familiar with Ren Sinclair on NXT,
Mhm.
she is a Hybrid School of Wrestling graduate. So, a lot of great talent coming out of the school there, and so he's been wrestling. I think he graduated in 2019 from the school, so he's been
Mhm.
wrestling for a little while now, and just really enjoying it. Traveling around Texas, he wrestles for different promotions, River City Wrestling. He's wrestled for United 210 here. He's gone. I'm trying to remember.
Where's
It's
he at right
Battleground Pro.
now?
Right now, he's in Mexico.
Where at? What promotion?
Well, he was visiting CMLL yesterday. He didn't wrestle, but he was
Mhm.
there for the show. Today he's wrestling. I don't know the promotion's name. It's kind
Okay.
of terrible. They're new for me.
Okay.
But the show looks pretty good. The card looks pretty
So
good. So
CMLL, for those who don't know, CMLL and AAA are the two big promotions down in Mexico. And
yes.
they're also the companies that do Forbidden Door
Mhm.
this year, I believe, with AEW.
Yes, and so he was there. He's checking things out and kind of, and it's always good too for a lot of the indie wrestlers to go look and see like
Mhm.
kind of and get ideas and kind of just see like and give motivation to be like, okay, what do I need to do to get at the next level? It's always a great learning opportunity, great
Yep.
network opportunity. So appreciate CMML or CMLL. I'm sorry, I can talk today. For the
It's okay. I
exposure.
can't remember names today,
No,
so
I
don't feel
was like, I
bad.
get tongue tied. So, but appreciate their time and everything. So, him and David Kidd are also
Okay.
out there as well. So he's the A+ wrestler, another hybrid school graduate. One of my, I call my other kid, one of my our good friends, and I remember him early on in his career. He's also my son's swim teacher, so Seth's favorite
Nice.
person. Seth's favorite person. So yes, it's a little bit. So he was supposed to. Brandon was supposed to be on with us today,
Yep.
but I
The
mean, I'm
opportunity
like, go
is
go do your
phenomenal.
thing, and
Exactly.
so yeah, so support your local wrestlers as well. They actually had a good time wrestling NostalgiaCon when they came here to San
Yep.
Antonio. So
Yep. That was just
uh,
last month, right?
that was yes. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like last. I feel like
No,
the time just like
I'm pretty
flies.
sure I've seen all the pictures and some of the clips from
Yeah,
last month.
yeah. So thank you again for letting me plug him and
No,
all
plug
that.
away.
So
And we're
yeah,
eventually going to get him on here.
he will. He'll jump
And
on
then
eventually.
maybe someday we can get both him and his tag team partner on,
Yeah,
Casey,
Casey
who was just
Blackrose.
on WWE not that long ago as a security person, which was really cool to see. I think I
Yeah.
messaged you like right after I seen him on
Yes.
TV. I was like, I
Yes.
just seen Casey.
Casey breaking backs
Yep.
everywhere. I mean, we're
It was
counting.
awesome.
We are counting every time he throws backbreakers. I'm like, I want to see him. I think the most I've seen him do is 6. So I
Oh,
want to see him do more
I think
backbreakers.
he can do
Casey
better.
throwing it out there.
He can do better. I'm pretty
He can.
sure.
He could. So, so go check out your local wrestlers because you never know who's going to show up on the big screen.
Yep.
And just like again, support local, period. So
Exactly.
there you go. And so I mean,
And follow them on social media.
exactly.
Plug their
So
stuff.
yeah,
'Cause
share the content.
that's how we get around is we share each other's content. I know a friend of mine recently is like, "Dude, why are you selling like, sharing all this shit from Michigan?" Because I'm a diehard Alabama guy. And I'm like, "Well, dude, that's he writes for BCP Plus, and I also do articles sometimes when I can pull myself to do an article for BCP and Rob and those guys over there, and we just share each other's content. I share all the pop break stuff, and
Yeah, we
they
appreciate you
share
for doing
mine,
that.
and
Yeah.
it just spreads our content around to more eyes, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we love engaging in different conversations. Again, like
Mhm.
Godzilla -1, I was so happy. Yes, he
He
did.
did. He
Thank you.
wrestled the
Yes, he
Von
did.
Erich
Him and
earlier this
Casey,
year.
they had a
It was a
fantastic
great
match.
match. It really was.
And the Von Erichs are the current tag team champions for River City Wrestling.
Mhm.
So both very, very nice.
It's cool to see the Von Erich name out there again and
Yes.
associated with wrestling. And
Yes.
that's how we say it down here is
Yeah.
wrestling. WRASSLIN. You can throw a little apostrophe on there if you want to.
Yes. And they're great. They had a killer match too against the Kingdom. This past show. They're gonna
Mhm.
have another outstanding match. I think June 16th is the next show for River City Wrestling. Brandon and Casey will both be wrestling there as well as David Kidd. So David, who's actually going up against the champion Bo Amir. May the force be with you, David. Good luck, kid.
So, but if you follow Amanda, you will see she threw those graphics up earlier for RCW, and I seen it, and I was just like, man, this is going to be awesome shows.
Yeah,
There's a lot of great indie wrestling in Texas and the East Coast, all up and down the East Coast. There's lots of great indie wrestling out there.
yeah, and so so show a lot of love. It's always appreciated. Everyone's working hard, and so again, we appreciate it. Thank you again, Jeff. And so
Hey, no, hell no, that's what it's all about. So let's
yeah,
jump on to Giancarlo Esposito
yes,
joining in Captain America's Brave New World cast. I know they've already released some steals of him, and I'm guessing he's playing a baddie. He's playing a villain, it looked like. Showed him with a trench coat and some knives on his vest. He looked very much Danny Trejo from Machete, so I'm not sure who he's intended to be. They haven't quite released that. It's been pretty tight-lipped so far on who he is going to be. And for the life of me, I can't even think of what character he could be.
I know with his look, I'm like, and I love Marvel. It's just my lore is like not as deep as it is like with Star Wars and
Yeah.
anime and wrestling. So I'm
And
always like
I'm a
learning.
big indie comic guy, so I don't
Yeah,
read a whole lot of Marvel either, outside of I just did the Marvel versus I'm not sorry, Wolverine versus Predator. That
nice.
was my last Marvel pickups.
Okay,
And my daughter reads Spider-Punk.
nice.
Although I am reading the current oh the one that Bill's been writing about lately, the what is it, Bloodline or whatever?
I believe so. Yes,
Something like that.
but
I
he's
am
the
reading
writing.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I have no idea. But I love that Giancarlo Esposito is gonna be a bad guy here. Like he does a great
He's
job
a
in Mando.
he does. He is villainy is his thing. Better Call Saul. I
Yes,
mean, he's excellent villain. Like he was made to be a villain, and
it's like
I
the
don't care what
nicest
he's
guy.
in. He really is. Like he is such a nice guy. Anytime, like you see some of these clips of people like meeting him at cons and stuff, and like the guy is just like, "Oh, you made that for me?" He's like, "No," and they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Free pictures, come here," and I'm just like, he's on my list. If he ever comes to a con close to me, or if I'm ever traveling and there's a con in town and he's there, that I'm hitting it up because I want his autograph.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he's so charismatic with his acting. Like no matter what role he plays, like he's a scene stealer, even though again it can be like low key. Like it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be like a loud he
his
doesn't have like
his
a loud
presence
yes.
on screen is going to take you away from whatever else it is that you're watching in that, because he is there.
And I love that we don't know who he's playing. Like, it's nice to have some speculation, some mystery, because I feel like
It
sometimes
is.
trailers,
We know
yeah,
too much.
exactly. Like, trailers give away the whole movie sometimes, and I'm like, okay, y'all can stop now. Like, I
Okay,
really just
here's
want to
one for
enjoy the
you.
movie.
What's
Okay,
one of his first movies he ever did? I'll give you one hint.
okay.
It was a book first by
Gosh.
Stephen King.
Oh no. Oh, hold on. Ooh, that I don't know. That is just like I'm drawing a
It's
blank.
got a big truck in it.
Oh man, I haven't thought about it.
Maximum Overdrive.
That's right. Oh
He
my
was a
gosh.
waiter. He was a
Okay.
waiter. I don't even think he was a named character. He was just a waiter at the restaurant.
Oh, that's amazing.
Pretty dope.
I'm gonna have to go like
Yeah.
look that
Like
up
you
on
can literally
Instagram.
just like Google the scenes and you'll see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
All
here
right.
for it. Let's bring it. Bring it on. Thank you, Marvel, for doing that. And again, just keep us in suspense, please.
Let's talk about Tom Hardy's last appearance as Venom. Thank God. And this isn't on Tom Hardy. I thoroughly enjoy like stuff with Tom Hardy in it. I don't know if anybody probably watched it. They only got one season of this show, but it was called Taboo, where
I
he
don't
comes
know.
back to get like revenge on the people who killed his father. So I think it's on A&E, maybe. I know it's on like Netflix or maybe Hulu, but it's an excellent show. And they only got one season and they canceled it, and I was very much pissed because it was that good.
Oh yeah,
But it's
Tom
Tom Hardy.
Hardy.
He's an excellent character actor when it comes to things like that. And I'm looking forward to his new movie he's got coming out with the, what is it, with the motorcycles, Bikers.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing that when it hits streaming as well.
Yeah, like Tom Hardy really has some fun acting choices in his resume. Like, I'm gonna do this. This is for you, Ben Murkison. I enjoyed him in Peaky Blinders. I loved him in
Ooh.
Peaky Blinders. Ben was trying to get us to watch it. I started finally watching it.
So I had that on our list and I removed it, but since you brought it back up, that's also getting a movie on Netflix. Cillian Murphy is returning one more time to put the hat on and to go
I'm here for
gangster
it.
again.
I'm
It,
here for it. The show's
I
excellent.
got the show is excellent. I've not watched the entire thing yet. I'm still in the middle of it. I mean, I just told you I'm catching up on the boys right now. Peaky Blinders will probably be next. And yes, you're absolutely right, Kelvin. Peaky Blinders is getting a movie.
It's Ben's been waiting for this. He's been waiting
So
so long for
Cillian
this.
Murphy, since he played the father of the atomic bomb, has gotten nothing but love. He's got Peaky Blinders movie coming out. He's got 28 days or 28 years later
Yeah.
in the process of being made. They're making it right now. So he is like all over the place, and I'm here for it. I'm not mad at
No,
all. The dude deserves it. He is a
he
great actor.
does. He does. He's outstanding. And if y'all haven't watched Peaky Blinders and you're wanting some homework, I'm gonna plug in. Ben did a great job hosting one of our episodes of Socially Distance on the Peaky Blinders.
That was a good
Um,
episode, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, Ben, that's all Ben. And you know, he did such a great job with it. So if you're wanting like kind of a quick guide to kind of catch you up on Peaky Blinders and kind of like to give you a flavor of the show, check that episode out. Ben did a great job with it, curating the episodes. He gave us homework, and I am not mad, and I enjoyed it. Um, and Tom Hardy was one of my favorite parts of this, so of the show, and I actually really liked. It's kind of funny. He was in Wuthering, a version of Wuthering Heights, and I wasn't mad because Tom Hardy is like moody and
Oh yeah,
brooding.
he's got that I'm pissed off at the world. He also played what was it? The movie about the brothers that fought in the UFC.
Oh, oh man, that was a throw. Yes,
That's another good one.
yeah. So he's, I mean,
Bane. He played Bane.
of course, and I
Excellent job
enjoyed
at
his Bane.
Bane. It
I
was
enjoyed his
good.
Bane.
But let's talk
Um,
about Venom though. What do you think about the
yeah,
trailer?
I. It's one of those where I'm like, if
You're
it
thinking
was
of
kind
something
of,
nice to say.
I know, I'm trying. I'm trying. You're calling me out like Bill does. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just, it wasn't a bad trailer. Like I was like,
No,
okay, this is going to be like all out crazy because it is his final appearance.
no.
But I also feel like it's kind of an example of why people are superhero fatigued. a little bit. Like it's very much, it feels like kind of the older phase of, or like this kind of current phase of Marvel where it's not
Yeah.
super exciting. Um,
Keep in mind, this is Sony,
yeah. And that's
and
the
it is a
part of,
superhero movie from Sony.
yeah, it's
And if
that part of
the
Marvel that I don't
first
like to
2
talk about.
Venoms are any indicator of this one, we're looking at a shit show that doesn't make any kind of sense.
Well, and it just depends on where the future of the character is going to go in the Marvel, overall Marvel universe. Like the Sony parts of things, you know, with their live actions, really they struggle. I
They
mean,
do.
you get something like Into the Spider-Verse, and it's beautiful, and
Yeah.
kind of that whole world. Their animated, you know, content is amazing,
It's
and they
similar
just,
to DC in that fact.
yes.
DC puts out fantastic animated TV shows. Movies are straight garbage.
Yeah, so I'm not, like, running to theaters to go see this. Yes, thank you,
Yes,
Calvin. It
that's
is
the
the
best way to
Kroger,
put it, yes.
and whereas
Yes.
Marvel is, the regular Marvel is like HEB. That's down here, and then we love it. But yeah, it is, I'm just not super, like, I'm gonna, for me, I'm more of like, I'll stream it when it comes to when I can stream it. Do I wanna run to a theater and go see it? No.
No, I'm with you. I will watch it like I did eventually watch Carnage, 'cause I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Carnage. He was probably one of my favorite comic characters coming up, and just because like, if you got an episode of Spider-Man or Venom and Carnage was in it, it was just gonna be straight fire. Like, that dude is he lives and thrives in chaos, and I was there for it.
That's exactly what I'll do,
Exactly.
Calvin.
Yeah,
Wade through, we can
exactly.
watch it on Max. Exactly.
Yep.
There's no rush in
Yep.
theaters.
I agree. It's a stream for me, of course, like most everything. But now we got Haley Atwell is set to voice Laura Croft, and we finally got like the first like kind of trailer with her as voicing Laura, and I thought it was spot on. I enjoyed the hell out of seeing the trailer and hearing her as Laura. I was like, that's what we've needed for quite a while when it comes to
Yeah.
anything Tomb Raider related.
Well, and I like that Laura Croft still feels fresh,
It
even though
does.
she's been around for a long time. Like us OGs remember, like the early like mid early 90s when we were all playing the
With the
very first,
triangles.
yeah. And like playing on our PCs and all that, you know, I remember playing. I loved the character. I know the
Yep.
audience was a little bit more male oriented, but it's just
For
fun having a
reasons.
female. Yeah, but it was fun having a female explorer too,
It
and
really
just like,
was.
you know, it was fun. It was exciting.
Hey,
I the actual
she walked so Dora could run, okay?
There you go. But you know,
Bill,
it
you
just
can use that one because I know y'all talk about Dora over there.
but yeah, so I mean, you know, and even with the Angelina Jolie movies came out, they were okay. Like they weren't terrible. Like they were like all right, you know. But I really enjoyed the fact that Netflix did this because they have been slaying it from an
They're
animated
animated.
series
So I just
anime
finished
standpoint.
season 2 of Blood of Zeus. Just before we're about to get season 3 of Blood of Zeus. So I'm like, I'm playing catch up on this. It's so fucking good. It's the same
Yeah,
guys who gave us
Castlevania.
Castlevania, and I love their anime style. Like it almost has that old school feel to it, but it's modern.
It's
I
very
don't know. It's hard
crisp.
to describe. It's crisp, very crisp.
It's very crisp, and I feel like they also, I want to say they did The Witcher animated
They may have because
too. I
it
want to
looks
say, I think they
similar.
did. I want to
And
say that
I still need to go
that
back
might
and
be
watch
right.
that one too.
That
It's
was
on my
very good.
list.
That one is very good
Is
also.
it? Okay.
You know, Netflix has been doing a great job curating, you know, their animated
And
series.
Netflix also just got Sovereign Drain as well. I don't know if you've watched that yet.
I
It's
haven't.
it's it's OG feel like when it comes
Okay.
to the anime style. In the story, it's exactly what it sounds. It's scavengers, and they crash on this planet, and the planet is alive.
Okay. Okay. I need to
Like
check that out.
literally, the planet is alive. Like it
Huh.
has its own. It's weird. But it's
To check
good.
it out. Okay, because Netflix is getting some good. I mean, I'm looking forward to, you know, and I'm hoping that from Anime Expo, maybe we'll get an update on the Wit Studios remake of One Piece, because the Netflix is going to be getting the remake of the entire anime series. It's going to be done by a different studio than what
It
it is
is.
currently, which
Yeah,
is
they're
Toho.
going
So,
back. It's still the same everything, but they're crisping it up.
okay, it's got a Studio Ghibli feel. Okay, I'll have to
It
check that
does.
out.
Yeah, thanks, Kelvin. That's
Yeah.
what I was looking for. It's very Ghibli,
Okay, I'll have to check that out, because I think
very Howl's Moving Castle esque.
okay, and I
Yeah,
love Howl's Moving Castle, so I'll have to check
everybody
that one out.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody says they hate it, then that person has no soul.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Again, I think it's going to be a strong. Again, Netflix doesn't hold back. They pull all the stops when it comes to their animated
They
series.
really have.
So
I mean, we
I'm
got
here
what
for it.
was it? Blue Eye Samurai was
Oh, that was amazing.
phenomenal. The art, the story, everything about it was so beautifully done. And I was about 2 episodes in before I realized the samurai was a girl. So
Yeah.
bad on me for not like there was things that should have like added up quicker than they did, but for some reason I couldn't get 2 and 2 to 5 until like episode 2.
Well, they had a
At
lot.
that
They were throwing a lot too for Blue Eye
they
Samurai. There
were.
was a lot of
Yeah,
information that was coming too, and a lot of it was so good. If y'all haven't watched Blue Eye Samurai, go watch it. It's amazing. Y'all
it
have time
is.
before the second season drops.
Yeah, it'll be
Um,
about a year before the second season drops.
yeah, and Netflix also, Delicious in Dungeon is it was
Easily
so
anime
good.
of the year
Easily.
last year. Easily.
They also have Delicious in Dungeon running right now, which is very
I've
good.
heard nothing but good things
It's
about it.
good. It's
I
funny.
haven't watched it yet, but I heard it like the clips I've seen, like I cackled at. I was like, okay, I gotta come back.
Yeah.
I'm like Jericho over here. I'm pulling out my list, and it's like you just made the list.
That one should. That one should make the list.
So
It's
it's
really
definitely
good.
on the list now.
It's really good. And I like some romances too. So they did pick up My Happy Marriage. So that one was
Yeah,
actually really
my
good
daughter
too.
I think has the mangas of that one,
Yeah. So that one was really well done. If she enjoyed the manga, she'll like the series.
and
So
she's probably watching. I know between that and Grey's Anatomy right now,
yeah,
she's always on some anime.
so Netflix. So I'm glad we were getting some movement, because I'm like, I know they announced Laura Croft. I was
Yeah.
excited they dropped Terminator.
Oh, good. That's a you know what? That's fucking awesome. I love the tie-in that you just did there, and we're getting Timothy Oliphant
Oh
voicing
my
the
gosh.
Terminator.
Yeah, our Al Manarino, I think, was crying tears of joy when I sent him the news, because he is such a Timothy Oliphant fan.
And
And
if
I
you're
was
not
like,
a Timothy Oliphant fan, you're wrong because that dude's
yeah,
amazing in
he was like
everything
the
he's
best part
in.
of the book of Boba Fett.
He was, yeah. No, you're
Straight
spot
up the
on.
best part of the book.
There was an
Other than Cad Bane's
episode.
entrance. Other than that, Cad Bane was
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
But Cobb Vanth, man.
I got his figure somewhere around here.
Oh yeah, like just the style and the fact that they set this anime, the Terminator story takes place in Japan, is
Mm-hmm.
going to be extremely interesting, and the animation looks
So
crazy.
good. Like they've only released I think a single clip of it, like a 2 minute,
Mhm.
like how do you do? And it's got that Japanese anime feel to it as well.
It
You know what I'm
does.
saying?
It
And
does.
almost like what was it, Ninja Kamui?
Yeah, it has that like that. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like a very like an Americanized
Yeah,
version. Yeah, Kelvin, go look up the teaser. It's out there. It's like it looks incredible.
it
So
does.
I'm here for it.
And
Like
Timothy Oliphant voicing. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the coolest things they're doing with it. They're dropping it on Judgment Day, August 29th.
yes.
That is dope as hell. Like they're like, yeah, it's done, but we can't release this until August 29th and Judgment Day.
And I'm
So
like,
that
thank
is
you.
dope.
Thank you for keeping
Exactly.
that.
Like anything that when they do something like that, because we know August 29th was Judgment Day, and they're like, it's got to release August 29th. It has to.
And
And then if they wait till a whole year for season 2 to come and then drop it on August 29th again, I ain't gonna be fucking mad.
no, no.
That should be how it is from this point on. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's been done for 6 months sitting on the shelf, but August 29th rolls around, we'll drop it.
Well, and what I love about these Netflix animated series is that they do a great job of revitalizing interest in the original franchise.
They do.
And I feel like this will give Terminator the franchise a boost, a much needed boost. Because I've always
Especially after the
enjoyed.
TV series they did, because that TV
Yeah,
series was a hot mess.
Yeah, I've always loved the Terminator franchise. I've always really enjoyed it. Like
I
it's
did
just
too, until the last couple, and then the
yeah.
TV series. I'm like, these weren't necessary. Y'all, it's
I mean,
almost like because I know we're getting a 300 anime,
yeah, I'm on the fence about that.
so it's kind of it's one of those where it's like the 300. They had their time in the sun, and them boys need a rest. I'm kind of
Yeah.
like with the last few Terminators was kind of that way. I'm like, all right, come on.
Yeah, and but
You,
that's the
the
nice thing about
dollars have been
anime.
drained out of this franchise,
Well,
but
and
it's
it's just
anime, so who knows?
exactly.
I
Well,
think this may spark.
and I think with any animated series, especially if it's done well,
Hmm.
you have a lot more freedom. There's a lot more creativity and expression that comes from it. And we were talking about this a while back with What If? Like, should we move some of these characters to live action? It's like no, like that, like
No,
let the freedom, let the medium speak for itself. And I
yep,
think this would be really cool. I think Terminator will get a much needed shot because a lot of times again with Netflix they come out swinging with these animated series. So
they
and I think
do,
same thing with
and
Laura Croft.
they're hitting them out of the park though. They
Yeah.
really are.
So I'm here for it. And again, you brought in Timothy Oliphant. You're welcome. I'm already here.
Oh
Sign me
yeah,
up.
dude. Yeah,
Now, if they will give me a date on Devil May Cry so I can cover it on Anime Pop, that'd be great. Netflix. I've been
you know
waiting for
what?
that
Devil
one.
May Cry has been one of my favorite video game franchises for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I love
literally bought an Xbox just to play it.
yeah.
And
It's such a great game franchise. Did you watch the show?
no, that's again, I'm catching up on things.
Oh, that the show came out
Years ago.
years ago, like
I know.
maybe 15 plus.
I
I
know.
had it on DVD, and then I believe you can stream it on Netflix.
Yeah, I
I
think
believe.
I'd seen it on there. I just hadn't like I know I had seen it like when scrolling at some point. I was like, oh
Yeah.
damn. I'm like,
I watched it when it
I got a
aired.
notebook over here and I'll write down stuff. And I'm like, oh, I gotta come back and watch that.
So I watched it when it aired, like on TV. I was like, that's how old. I was like, oh yeah, I remember when
You were just a
the episodes.
baby in like that time though.
Oh no, I think I was at least like maybe like I was like in middle school, maybe when it came. I think I have to go back and look at when it came out, but I've
Mhm.
been waiting for them to announce something on that for a while. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting hope because y'all announced Laura Croft because that was they announced that Devil May Cry and Laura Croft at the same time that
Yep.
those were in the works, and
But
then
if it's the same company though, it's one of those where we're like, okay, let's toss a coin to see where we're gonna put the
yeah,
effort before we start working on the next one.
yeah. So hopefully, I think it's. I mean, I've seen some leaks, but yes,
Dude, yeah.
yeah. Four is amazing.
I'm still
Four is so
playing
good.
for. I will. My daughter's got the Xbox in her room, and I will still go sit in her room when she's at work or something and play some Devil May Cry.
So I'm hoping they'll drop. We get something at Anime Expo. We get something, but Netflix has been on a roll with news. I mean, their big one right now though is that live action One Piece. Did you watch the series? No.
Yeah, but we gotta save that one.
Oh, we gonna save it. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna save that to the rumors.
Oh
Right
yeah.
now,
That's
let's jump into Alien Romulus though.
oh
That
man.
trailer was
Oh.
so good. Like
Oh.
I'm so hyped for this movie now. Like
Oh.
we needed like a good breath of fresh air into that, and now we're getting this movie, and
Oh, I
it's
love
so good.
the throwback to the original. Like it gives me the original Alien 1979
Yep.
vibe. Just the horror elements and the
And
suspense.
that's why what is his name? Fede
Yes.
is go Fede
Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can roll your R better than I kid, so I'll let you say it now.
No, you did a good job. No,
Thank
no,
you. Thank you.
I just I'm still like just sinking in the just taking in the trailer. I was at the edge of my seat the whole
Yo,
time.
that when the face huggers bust through, I was like, oh my god, that's like my skin like crawled. And at that scene, there was just so many face huggers. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is gonna be so fucking intense. And it's going back to its horror roots.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm here for it. This movie could possibly get me out of my house.
This would be the one. I
This
feel
could
like.
be it. Yeah, this could be one of them.
I mean, the attention to detail, like that first scene with the face hugger, like you see it like getting into the guy's mouth. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. And what I love about this is it does go back to the horror roots. Like everything feels very small and claustrophobic and like
And it's
it.
dark, but
Yes.
it's not dark to the point where you're like, you can't see shit.
Yeah.
You know, like you
It
see some horror movies that they do that dark. It's too dark, and you can't see that what the hell's going on. But this one, the way they do the lighting and the darkness, and then there's also the water in that one scene. Like that's just like recipes for nefarious acts.
Yeah. I love that again. It's going more towards suspense than
Yeah, I'm
like
with you, Kelvin.
gross. Like kind of I think some of the last ones had just went on like gross, like the gross factor and the ick
Yeah,
factor. And I'm like, but that's not really what made Alien so special.
no,
It's
it's
the edge of your
it's
seat.
the jump scares. It's
Yeah.
the where's the next face hugger going to come from? It. Oh my fucking god! Why is there a fucking
And
alien crawling down the wall?
yeah,
You
and I
know?
mean, you have, like, a little bit of the gross factor, because I mean, obviously, you have, like, the detail when it's, like, aliens are, like, bursting out of people's stomachs and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that naturally is like, ugh, but it's not so overdone, like,
And
in
there's still
combination.
the possibility we may get a Alien TV series based on these
Huh.
movies. That's been rumored for a while.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that was still being talked about, actually.
well, the rumors started around the same time as Alien Romulus's rumors
Yes.
started. But I'm still hoping for it because I know it was supposed to be a FX TV series, and their TV series are killing it right now as
Yeah.
well. So we'll see. I won't be mad either way, but I'm definitely down for this one.
Oh, same. I mean, this as Calvin said, this does deserve the theater treatment.
It does.
Will I be hiding behind Brandon the whole time watching it? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I don't do scary movies very well, like, this is me, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm good. I'm good." I can still see it, but I'm like,
Dude,
for some reason, I
it's
feel
funny
protected.
you're sitting here like this right here because that's used to be how I
Ironically.
watched Freddy Krueger because he used to scare the shit out of me. And actually at a con, I got to meet Robert Englund.
Nice.
And the dude's like a classically trained actor. He did theater before, ultimately becoming like the king of scare, and being one of the four pillars of horror. And one of the nicest fucking guys ever. And I think he just had like a 80th birthday or something. And the dude still looks phenomenal. So big props to you, Robert Englund, wherever you are tonight. Thank you for scaring the shit out of me as a kid.
I
But
know.
Borderlands is next. Let's hop in on this Borderlands, and
Okay.
honestly, I think they put together a great cast for this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black as is in there. The only one I'm not too keen on is Kevin Hart. That's only because I feel like Kevin Hart's making an appearance in everything, and he's kind of like I've had my fill of Kevin Hart, I guess you could say. Like,
I don't know, like, I think for me, if Kevin Hart is in a very strategic good role, I'm here for it. Like, I like him in a lot of the animated movies that
no, when he
he's
lends
done
his
and
voice
whatnot.
to something, he's I
He's
can deal
solid.
with that. He's solid.
And yeah, and I feel like here he'll fit in just fine. I
Yeah,
think
and
with
they
this,
are
like,
going more for a comedy
it
relief type in this. So
he's a good Borderlands choice.
he
I
could be.
feel
He
like.
definitely could. I like the fact that Tiny Tina is being played by Ariana Greenblatt, who we all know as young Ahsoka,
Mhm.
and something else here recently too. What
Barbie.
else?
She's
Barbie, not
Barbie.
just, and something before that too. Shit, I
Oh,
can't think of
man.
what else. But it's
I'm
like
like,
she went like back to back like big franchises. Like she's been all over the place. You breaking out
yeah,
the Google machine?
I'm breaking out the Google machine because
Yeah,
it's gonna
please.
bother me now. Yeah, because I loved her in Barbie as well. Like, I thought she did a great job. She was young Gamora. That's right.
That's right. That's the one I
She's
was
young
thinking
Gamora.
of.
I was like,
Yep.
right there, there it is.
Because she went
Um,
from Gamora to young Ahsoka to Barbie. Now Borderlands is Tiny Tina, which to me is like phenomenal. Like that's like a lineup right there.
I'm here for Kate Blanchett.
Oh, Kate Blanchett's character
I'm
in
a
this is
huge Kate Blanchett
phenomenal.
fan. I'm
Y
like, if she ever
you
wants to
should
just
be.
slide in my DMs and be my best friend, I'm cool with it. It's Best Friends Day, which I
It's
love all my best friends, by the way.
Oh, by the way, it's also Ghostbusters Day, so shout
That's
out to
right.
Rob over at BCP. I know he is a big Ghostbusters guy, and I'm sure he is celebrating Ghostbusters Day with all his heart.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but
So
I'm
happy.
here for Borderlands. It's a Netflix movie, right? Or is it going to theaters?
Yeah,
I can't
I thought it was
remember.
going to theaters. Let me. I'm going to ask the Google
Yeah,
machine. I want to
Kelvin. She was young
say
Gamora. Like it. Like anytime I see young Ahsoka and young Gamora, like she's perfect in both of them. Don't get me wrong here. Like she is absolutely perfect in both of them. And then to jump right into Barbie and now to be Tiny Tina, which oh by the way is a great video game as well, is spot on. She fits the role perfect. So
yes. It's going in theaters
okay.
August 9th.
Okay. Well, I have August 9th on here. I just couldn't remember if I didn't write down if it was
I was like,
Netflix
I
or if it
thought it
was
went into theaters. It's probably
yeah.
going to do the same. It's like theaters and then it'll be streaming
Yeah.
at a certain point. But Kate Blanchett, I love
Phenomenal.
her.
Her
She's
character in this looks so much fun. And Jamie Lee Curtis in the new
yes.
trailer where she steals the gun from Kevin Hart. She's like, I needed a fucking gun. They're shooting at us. I was
I
like,
know,
oh.
right?
He just takes that pause and goes, if you needed a gun, just ask.
Oh, I know. I just this it
The trailers
seems
have
like
all been fun.
they have been, and I haven't. I think I've played a little bit of Borderlands. I haven't played too much of throughout the kind of
Oh
through the
no,
franchise.
we have the entire franchise, including Tiny Tina.
Yeah, I haven't played too much, but I feel like it's capturing the vibe
It really
pretty
is.
well. Yeah,
It does, and we'll have to see like what kind of video game elements, other video game elements they actually roll into it for it to really hit that vibe.
yeah, because
Because a lot of
I
people have been killing these video game franchises lately. I mean, we
Fallout.
had Fallout. We had one before that too. The Last of Us. Shit,
That's right.
I was brain farting there. So I
That's
mean,
right.
they've been spot on here lately, and I'm hoping this one is following suit because I really want this one to be good.
I do too. I'm like, if these continue to be good, then it gives me hope for when God of War joins us. Because that one, I'm like, y'all have to do that one right. I've been a
TV
long time God
series,
of
TV
yeah.
series
Either
has to
way,
be.
it's got. I believe it's a TV series. I think Amazon was working on it, from what I understand. And I'm like,
If
if y'all,
Amazon's touching it, then it's going to be spot on.
yeah, it should.
Amazon
It
has
should.
not done a bad video game series yet. Or
It should.
really, well, outside of the Lord of the Rings stuff they've been doing, which I heard still wasn't bad, just ain't my
It
cup of
it's
tea.
it's very slow. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
terrible, but it wasn't my favorite. And I love the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
as you
The
should.
Hobbit, as anyone should. It's a
Oh,
great trilogy.
I
Um,
didn't go this far back on the nerd news, but I know we're also getting a new Grendel.
are we?
Yeah,
Huh. I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't even. I was like, I was like, there's been so much
Yeah,
dropping lately.
I
I was
had
like,
shared it, but I just didn't go back that far because I think I shared it like later last month.
oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, that's
But
right.
I should have went back like another week. I
Oh,
think
we got
that's
this is all good stuff. Like, there's a lot. There is a
so much
lot
good
that
shit.
dropped.
Like,
It's a good time to be a nerd.
so if y'all are following, if you're listening to me and you don't really follow the page, but follow the page. Like, I can stay on top of all the news, all of the rumors. What I've tried to do is just give everybody a one-stop shop, whether it's video games, movies, TV series, anime, horror, you name it. I just try to give you a one big ass one-stop shop. Come visit USDN on a day and just see what's going on. There's some slow days. The weekends are pretty slow because nobody's working on the weekends and there's not a lot of news being released.
But it gives you time to catch up on
But
the
it
news
does
that
give you
was
time to
released.
catch up. So there you go. I'm shameless plug of myself.
Nothing
But
wrong
with
with
that,
that. It's a
let's
lot
jump
of good
into
content. It's a lot of good
it is,
content.
and I do put a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like by the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, fuck, today was a day. There was a lot of shit. And then I'll have a day where there's like, well, fuck, there's been no content today. All right. Well, damn. All right. And I'm okay with that too. So let's jump right into the rumors now.
Okay.
And we'll start with one that you've already started to mention, which was the One Piece.
I can't help it. I'm all like on a crusade to get people to watch One Piece.
So
That's my favorite.
I've not watched the anime. I'll put that out there. I've not watched
It's
the anime.
okay. It's kind of daunting. A lot of people are like, there's
It,
like over 1,100 episodes. I'm like,
yes.
but I will tell you guys, the manga and the anime are both excellent. There's not a lot of filler, so I know a lot of y'all are like, it's not going to do Naruto on you guys.
No.
It's
And
not.
my daughter said the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
She's
She big
up
One
to
Piece fan.
date. Not a big One Piece fan, but she's
Okay.
up to date.
Okay.
She's 1,100 episodes deep.
Okay,
Caught
so
up.
she's an egghead with us.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I've watched the live action.
Okay, I mean the live action's a really good introduction,
and I've really enjoyed the live action on season 1. Now we know it's either we could probably move this one up to just the news because they are currently filming season 2 and season 3 back to back. Whether or not they will release them that way, or if we'll get like a year gap, like Netflix tends to do sometimes on these. But they are filming season 2 and season 3 supposedly back to back. I'm not mad about that. I'm all for it. I just don't see them doing 1,100 episodes worth of live action because I'm sure this thing is not cheap to make.
No, but it's also Netflix's success story right now.
It is.
They have butchered many a live action adaptation. Looking at you, Death Note and Dragon Ball.
Why'd you have to bring up both of those?
I know.
They weren't responsible for Dragon Ball.
I know, but they still aired it though. I blame Netflix still. a little bit. I'm still salty about
embarrassing.
That.
I went and seen that in theaters.
But this is before you knew what it was about though, right? Like this is before you knew it was bad.
Yes.
See?
I just seen live action Dragon Ball and I was like, fuck yeah. I almost got up and left.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was fucking horrible.
It was terrible. And Death Note,
they butchered the fuck out of Death Note. And it also, again, not Netflix's show. It was done by somebody else. But fuck. Was it bad? I'm a big fan of the manga of Death Note. I read it before there was ever.
I love the anime. Love the.
And then the anime
manga.
Was good. I did watch that with my daughter, and I read it with my daughter. Like we were literally, I read volume 1, handed it to her. Read volume 2, handed it to her. We've had a few where we went back and forth with, but Death Note was probably my favorite one that we've done together and watched together. So.
But One Piece, I know I was nervous when they announced they were doing a live action because I'm like, how are y'all? And the thing about the anime and the manga is that there's a lot of moving pieces. So in terms of, it's not, it's things that came up in the earlier seasons are now coming back up in Egghead. And, but everything flows seamlessly. And so it was, okay, like, how are they going to tie if they had over adapt? Then I'm like, how are they going to write this later to make everything make sense? And I mean, there were a couple of things with the live action that I was like, oh, they're gonna have a hard time explaining that later, but I think they might go in a different direction, and that's okay as long as they do it. It's
one of those where, I mean, we're 1,100 episodes into the anime and they still haven't found the fucking One Piece.
Oh, they're getting there. It's getting towards the end though.
Yeah, that's what my daughter was saying, that they were pretty close.
It's getting there.
How do you do that with a TV show where we're at most we're going to get is 5 seasons? I've never seen them go over 5.
Right. But I think too, you have the freedom in a live action to cut through.
You do. I'm sorry.
You do. Yeah, you do. And I want to say this first season adapted the first 100. It was like the East Blue arc, and they adapted that. So I mean, I think if
they did a really good job of it.
Yeah.
From me as an outsider who will never watch a single episode of the anime, I thought it was great. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Not gonna lie to anybody. There was a couple of episodes where I was just like, "Fuck, get on with it," But outside of that, it was thoroughly enjoyable, and it was only because they were trying to like give us this person's like little character arc that they want to do, which is okay. Well, a lot of TV shows do that,
and their character arcs do come back, as they power up. So it's really, Usopp's. They had a few, especially Usopp's. we were like, they changed his backstory almost entirely. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna see how they do this. The one I'm curious about is for season 2, my girl Nico Robin. I'm
Okay.
like, y'all mess up her backstory, I am going to be livid because she is, um, her character, she's kind of the archaeologist. Like she is one of the key, and she's part of the conflict that's going on in the anime series right now
Okay.
because of what she knows. Her backstory is very important to the rest of kind of the series, if you will. Like she
Okay.
is wanted for what is in her head and her legacy, without giving away too much. So
No,
I'm
no,
curious
no.
to see like where they, I know they've put out casting calls, I think, for her and for a few
Mhm.
other characters.
And
So
I follow one of the casting call things on Facebook, like
yeah.
several of them, and I seen when that one went out.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see her in season 2, Chopper, as well. He's the little reindeer that's like
Yeah.
their doctor. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see. I don't know if we're gonna get Brooke yet, or if he's gonna be a season 3. He's the Soul King or the skeleton that is in
I
the
thought they
skeleton
teased him
Biafra.
at the end of season 1. Who
I
was that they teased at the end of season 1?
I want to say it's gonna be Chopper probably because I want to say
Okay.
Chopper was next,
Okay.
and then Nico Robin as well. So then we might get those 2 Straw Hats before we get Brooke. But I enjoyed the cast. I really think they
And so I
cast,
didn't know who any of these guys was, except for the guy with the swords.
yes, from
That's
Maruna
the only
Kitchen.
Yeah, that's the only guy that like knew out of all these
Oh, once
people.
they announced him being cast, I was like, I'm in. Y'all announced him as Zoro, done. If y'all can get
Yeah,
Zoro done
no,
right,
like
I'm
he was
here.
one of my like the reasons why I was going to watch it because I enjoy him as an actor because he was the only one I knew, and I was like, oh damn, all right, cool, I can
Yeah,
get down with that.
and Zoro, I feel like is one of those characters you had to get right.
Yeah, and I think they
Zoro is
nailed
the
it.
key.
I think
They
they did
did.
nail it.
They did.
So
I'm like, if you didn't get Luffy and you didn't get Zoro right, then you're already off.
Luffy isn't bad either. I kind of
Yeah,
like the
I like
kid.
him. I
I don't
like
know who he is, but I like him.
I do too, and I liked who they got for Sanji. Like, I really feel like the casting for this show was on point. And yeah, once McKenyu joined as Zoro,
And I
and
think
Zoro's my anime
Jamie
husband.
Lee Curtis is in it as well.
I don't know if that's been officially announced, but that's a rumor, and that's a fan
No,
casting
I
if that
think that
happens. Is it official?
I want to say it's official. I
I'm
would have to
hoping
go back and
so.
look later, but I'm pretty sure I shared that on USDN, but I'd
I
have to
don't
go back and look
I don't know if it's if been
because I think
official.
she was like, I think she,
She's marketing it. She's been pushing to be
yes.
casted in it for forever, as well as us that are One Piece fans. Like she is perfect for Chopper's arc.
Hmm.
She is the doctor who he who he's living with, and the one that encourages him to go join his Straw Hats. And so she is a dead ringer, and I think just the mannerisms,
No,
the
because I
attitude.
seen
She's a
this
One
side by
Piece fan.
side, and I was,
Yeah,
and she's a fan,
she's a fan.
and she's like,
I know. I'm like, give us this. Give us this,
if you're
Netflix.
gonna give us fan service, this is the fan
This is
service
the
to
fan
give us.
service. Exactly. This is the casting we want. I mean, like Disney made Rosario Dawson Ahsoka. They got that right, and they listened to
So, you
us.
know what's funny is Boss Logic. He's a graphic designer, comic book cover artist out of Australia, I believe, or New Zealand. I can't remember which, but he's the guy who did the original poster that featured Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Rosario
That's
Dawson
right.
seen it and was like, "Oh fuck!" And then she was like, "Hey, Dave, make it happen." And then Dave was
Yeah.
like, "Got it," and he was like, "Say no more, fam. Let's do it." And that's literally how she ended up with the part of Ahsoka. It was called
So I'm
some
hoping
designer in New. Is he from New Zealand or Australia? I can't
that I'm
remember
not
which,
sure. Yeah. But I
but he made
remember
it
seeing
happen.
that poster.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like,
it was a fan poster.
if you want to make one of Jamie Lee Curtis's Kureha, that would be
I'll,
amazing.
I'll put it like this: there hasn't been too much that he hasn't put out there that hasn't came to fruition to
So
some degree,
we're
because
putting that plea out there.
he does work on stuff for people,
Okay.
for companies. He does posters for them and stuff, and like he'll post a teaser, and then it'll be months later, and you're like, oh shit, he did it again. And but eventually you figure out like, oh, he's been Like they tapped him to work on some stuff for him. So
so I'm happy they're filming. I'm not surprised if they're doing 2 seasons because right
it
off
makes
the bat,
sense.
because it makes sense. It is their biggest cash cow because I know Avatar did well, and I know they're moving quickly on that. It's
Yeah.
like it did well better, I think, than expected. Is it One
Yeah.
Piece level? No.
No.
But it pulled eyes in, but One Piece is the one that got people
It
back in
did.
and got re-energized. And so it's like, why not ride out that momentum, especially
Mhm.
while the cast is the ages that they are. And
Yeah, it's a perfect thing for them to grow.
Yes,
And they're
yes.
not gonna get a lot of time. Stranger Things, we're talking to you. These kids are 30 now, okay?
Yeah. Well, and
Finish it up.
the nice thing about One Piece is that Luffy is also aging. Along with the character is aging as he
Yes.
should. So this I think will work in that, you
In
know,
that favor, yeah.
in that favor for sure. But I think a lot of it this season is going to be whether they get the animated characters right, and it gave me hope that they got Appa done well for Avatar, because I'm like, okay, Chopper, and then I'm not sure how they're going to do Frankie either.
Mhm.
He's kind of the ship mechanic, if you will, and the
Okay.
shipwright. And he's great. He's kind of based off of Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura
Nice.
impersonation. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. And then Brooke, who is again
No,
the ship
Avatar was
musician.
spot on, though. I
Yeah,
enjoyed the
so
hell out of Avatar, and I went through and I power watched the animated series before the live action
so
came
good.
out,
My
and Dave
shirt.
Filoni.
Samurai Appa and Samurai Momo.
So I almost bought Appa today. I seen
Steph
one at
has one.
Walmart, and I was like, "Man, I kinda wanna get that," but then I'm like, "No, I don't. I gotta be good and not get that kinda stuff," but I was
But
tempted.
but
I was
yeah,
very
but
tempted.
but I feel like because they got Appa done well, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll,
They did a damn good job, and him and
yeah,
the monkey, I can't remember his name.
the Momo.
Yeah, Momo. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
And I did fantastic,
Yeah,
I thought.
so I'm feeling like if they can get them done right, then they should be able to
I
to
think they
get
will, yeah.
Chopper, and they're willing
And
to
they
spend the
did a
money.
fantastic job on the cast of both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
So,
so more to come on that, and when we get, I'm like, I'm here, wait, I'm ready. Whenever
yeah,
you wanna drop it
whenever
Netflix, we're ready.
yeah.
We're here.
Speaking of dropping stuff,
Yeah.
so we have 2 Predator movies on the horizon, supposedly. We have Elle Fanning, who is supposedly getting ready to join a Predator movie entitled Badlands.
Okay.
I can't see really Elle Fanning being like the main character of a Predator movie. To me, it doesn't fit her, but who am I? I'm just Jeff. I'm just a man talking about her joining this movie potentially. I don't know how the rumors came about. I just know that they were saying that she's potentially joining the cast of this movie called Badlands for Predator. So I don't know what could be playing, or if she's going to be like the person who takes on the Predator. At this point, there's really nothing out there other than she may potentially join the cast. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool for her to be the
Yeah.
person to take on the Predator, but she doesn't give that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always tough because I think it just comes down to who's writing, and
Mm-hmm.
I needed to look up like who's the writing team for this, because it is um it all depends, because again, you look at it, I think you can have a female lead. Like, look at Prey.
Yeah, and that was
Look at
actually
Prey.
our next on our list is Prey
Yeah.
2 with Amber Mid Thunder potentially returning for it. I don't know how they're going to do this because it's not the Predator. It's not been the Predator their way so far. It's kind of like they never bring back a person as the protagonist to the Predator. They've just never done it before. So if we're going to get an Amber Mid Thunder, it would have to be a different timeline and maybe like her great great granddaughter or something. You know what I'm saying? But she's
Yeah.
returning. She's playing the person, but she's a different character. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I think you can, the way that it's it's written. I think you can. The story is not very traditional.
It's
It does
not.
have traditional elements. It's
Yep.
not, but it doesn't. It's not the typical Predator
And I
movie.
see Prey as prequels to what we get in the Predator later on. That's how I
Right.
look at Prey as being. So if we're
I
getting a Prey 2, I would love for it to be like the same way, we're not
Yeah.
quite to that time frame of modern day when we're
Right.
used to it.
Well,
So
and
if
I think it'll be interesting to see if they bring her back now as the chief, like the war chief, and that's what I'm hoping
that would be dope as hell.
that
I'm
that
not
would
gonna
be.
lie.
Yeah, because I mean, it left that open,
Hmm.
and I think I almost feel like I look at it like you do, where it's like a prequel, but I also feel like it's kind of in its own separate Predator verse,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and I think that would be a really neat, um, like I really enjoyed it.
No,
I enjoyed
I
Prey because it
enjoyed
was
the
so
hell out
different.
of it. It was so
Yeah,
good. It was different. Amber Mid Thunder
she
killed
killed
it.
it.
That role, it was perfect, and she was the perfect person for that role.
And I think if you give Ellie Fanning the same treatment, write a
No,
killer
absolutely.
part, I think it just comes down to who's gonna write. And again,
Yes.
Amber Midthunder just slayed, and I'm like, it was so good to
And
see
I,
a female
I,
protagonist.
absolutely.
It's
And
like,
if that's what Elle Fanning is going to be doing, then more power to her, because I think that would be fantastic. Because it's not necessarily about the strength,
right,
it's being smarter than the person chasing you. And how can you come up with your own ways? Because nobody's ever going to beat the Predator like full on strength on. Arnold didn't even do it.
yeah, because they're not sure, at least from what I'm seeing, the writer for Prey, they're not sure if he's gonna do Badlands as well.
Yeah,
But
and
this,
that
but
was
Dan
also
Trachtenberg is
rumored.
still,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was also rumored as well. Would he be the one writing this movie as well? So if it's
So
him, I could see Elle being the person, and that would be dope as hell. Because she's not that. You don't see her. Amber Midthunder was introduced to us
right.
by that. Elle Fanning we've known for years now. We've watched her grow up. So she doesn't have that same vibe to me. She's more of that, the devil wears Prada type of actress. Not, she wasn't in that, but you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah. But it gives me good hope that the same director is attached.
No,
So
absolutely. And
that it's
Dan Trachtenberg, I think that's his name, right? Dan
yes.
Trachtenberg. Like, if he writes this movie too, if he writes Badlands, then we're in for a treat, because that dude has been killing it. Like,
Yeah.
Prey was phenomenal. And it's like one of those where you have something that works, bring him back.
Oh yeah.
He knows the franchise. He's absolutely nailed Prey. So, and I know for a fact that he's attached to Prey too.
Yes.
So I'm
So
here for it. If
I'm
they
here for a
make it
good
work with
Predator.
Elle, then fuck yeah, I'm here for that too.
I'm like, I'm here for the fact that we're getting like re-energized Predator and aliens. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
It's like this is the time. This is the era to be alive as a nerd. We're getting like
And please,
re-energized.
for the love of God, don't cross those streams again.
Thank you. Yeah. Or
I mean,
if you're gonna do it, like really just make us
follow the
forget that the
comic
other,
book. Follow the
yeah,
comic book.
just make us forget that the other even happened.
Yes, please and thank you. All right, we have one more rumor, and I'm actually digging this rumor. My boy Rob posted this rumor on a slow news day, and I don't know, I can't remember where he got it from, but it's Sasha Baron Cohen. Which, oh, by the way, I just posted this that they've already selected their live action He-Man. So if you know where we're going with this, Sasha Baron Cohen is rumored to be playing Skeletor in the live action He-Man, which we're just now getting the spin. We've known there's a live action He-Man coming for a while. They've named their live action He-Man. It's a younger kid. I don't really recognize him for anything that he's been
I
in.
I recognized him from, I watched The Idea of You not that long
Okay.
ago with Anne Hathaway, and I liked him in it. Yeah,
Okay.
I love
To
watching a
me,
lot of
he's like
action
he's a
movies.
fairly new guy to me. Like
Yeah,
he's not been around long, which I'm okay with. I don't mind seeing
he
these actors on the come up get these roles like this. I'm here for it.
yeah, I
I
really
love
liked
them.
him. I liked
I
him in
mean,
The
that's
Idea
how
of
we got
You.
Amber Mid Thunder. You
Yeah,
know, that's how we got the young lady that played Echo.
that's right.
And I'm here for that kind of stuff. I love seeing these guys get these big roles and then absolutely killing it. And this one, honestly, the last time we got He-Man on the big screen live action was garbage. Sorry. It
Yeah.
wasn't that great. It was maybe B movie like areas. I mean, it was made in the 80s. I'm surprised everybody wasn't half naked in it running around. But it just wasn't that good of a movie. They just kind of like pulled these people into modern day and let them run around in their underwear. The movie deserves more than that. Skeletor deserves more than that. He-Man deserves more than that. And by damn, if Sacha Baron Cohen is gonna be Skeletor, then I'm here for that too. Because that dude can play a villain and a character.
He really can. And
I
I
mean,
think
granted,
just
I hate Borat. I will never watch it, but he can play a character,
yeah.
and he played a villain in Sweeney Todd, which is one of
Yes.
my favorite movies,
And
and Gangs of
well,
New York as well.
that's right. I was about to say Gangs of New York,
Yeah,
actually.
that movie was phenomenal. I didn't expect a lot from that movie, but when I sit down and I watched it, I was glued for almost 3 hours to that movie.
Yeah, it was really good. And I like that Sacha Baron Cohen brings not only just the villain energy, but Skeletor has that humorous, you have to kind
Humorous,
of,
yeah.
and I feel like at times, like, watching the cartoon and watching the show growing up, it like Skeletor, at times you felt bad for him. Like you have a little bit of sympathy for him.
Yep.
And just depending on how the story is written, um, Skeletor is likable. I mean, obviously he's
He
memed
really
everywhere, and
is.
I love it. He's memed
He's got some of
everywhere.
the best memes out there.
He does. He
And
does. But you have
you
to have
watch
a
the
villain.
animated
Yeah.
series with him, and you love to hate him, but you also feel bad sometimes because
Yes.
you like he gives you the plan, and you're just kind of looking at it and I'm like, that that's what you want us to do, boss? So it's definitely interesting,
Well, and the
like
fact that he
choice.
gets dragged sometimes in the cartoons as well, like
Oh yeah,
it's so I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Sacha Baron Cohen can balance the villain performance with
with the comedy.
the comedy. I think he
Yeah,
can do.
but
I
it's
think
the
it's the sympathy.
combination. Yes.
I think it's the sympathy component. Can he evoke you still liking Skeletor enough? Like
Hmm.
the balancing, the actually making him a little bit more of a threat, but
Yep.
yet at the same time still likable. Can he
Hmm.
do that and not lean in too much into the
Because
comedic?
he is that likable villain. Like
Yes.
he, I, the writers of the animated series did such a good job with him, and I can't for the life of me I don't know who voiced him in any of the
I
animated
believe Mark
series.
Hamill. Well, I believe Mark Hamill did for the newer
Was it
one.
Mark Hamill? That's actually, I think you're right. It was Mark Hamill in the newer ones. I mean, he
Um,
voices everybody else that's evil.
and he's so great.
He
Joker
is.
forever.
Yeah.
Joker forever. And Fire Lord Ozai. I'm here for it.
Yep.
Forever and
You know,
ever.
R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, his Batman,
Yes. Oh
which
yes.
we get them both one more time. They have one more movie coming out together, and it will be the last one. And I know Mark Hamill has officially retired from the role of being the animated Joker. He won't voice it no more because his Batman is no longer with us.
I know. And I mean, as much as it's hard for him to retire, and like it hurts, it's like, but at the same time, yes, he did it for by the way, it was for the most recent Revelation.
Okay.
I was trying to go see how far back,
Did you watch
but
Revelations?
I did.
It was
And I
good.
loved it. It was
It was
so
good.
good.
Rob
But
put me on it. He's like, dude, you got to go back and watch
oh,
these. They're
so
so
good.
good.
Well, as soon as I found out Mark Hamill was voicing, I'm like
Yeah.
in immediately. Like,
If there's anything that has a really good villain in it, 9 times out of 10, Mark Hamill is the voice.
yes. I'm like, I will follow. Will I root for the villains? Absolutely. Like his Joker,
It's
hands
Mark
down,
Hamill.
best one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best one. I know people are gonna be like Jack Nicholson. Are they gonna be like, and I love Heath Ledger. I do. I love him. He was
Exception to the
solid.
rule.
Exception to the rule. Two completely different, but
Spot on.
spot on is
Yep.
the Joker. And I really liked him as Skeletor for the animated series. Like I feel like again, Mark Hamill just does that where it's
Mhm.
he balances being a villain, the comedy, and being creating that sympathy and
He does,
getting that
and the
likable
way
factor.
he's able to it's him though. It's that's
Yeah,
Mark Hamill in a nutshell.
it is. It is. And Sacha Baron Cohen has a challenge because he is polarizing as well too. Like people either really
He
like him or they don't. I
and
feel
he
like
has a presence. He's not a small individual. I
no.
don't think
And
people realize that he's a good sized fella. Yeah, he's
but
kind of skinny, but he's
but
still a tall, like intimidating figure when
oh
especially in Sweeney Todd.
yeah. And I mean I think he can use that as an asset for Skeletor and bring that imposing because Skeletor sometimes I feel like, he's somebody that can be almost too comedic at times. And so it's nice
Mhm.
to get that, he is a threat and he is
Yep.
credible. So like he
Yeah.
is a
No,
villain.
I mean there's been many a times where he has succeeded in pulling off his
Yeah.
villainous plans.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm curious to see if Sacha Baron Cohen, if he is indeed cast,
yeah.
um, if he can balance all of those different elements. That's
I
my
think
only
he can.
concern.
I mean, he's one of those guys where it feels like he's never really tapped his full potential on the screen yet. And I think this is like the perfect character for him to really tap into all those things.
Yeah, I could see him doing that, and having a veteran working with someone like Nicholas Gallatin that they've cast,
Mhm.
and I've only seen him in The Idea of You, and
Yeah.
the movie is with Anne Hathaway, and it's kind of the rumor is it's loosely based on Harry Styles that his character is,
Okay.
and his tendency of falling for older women,
Hey, if he's gonna fall
kind of
for
thing.
one, Anne Hathaway's the
I
one.
know I love her. Again, another one that could be my best friend anytime. Slide on in,
She
Anne
she
Hathaway. You can
she's amazing. Like
you can you
the
can you
first
can be my
time,
bestie too.
so there what was it, the Princess Diaries or whatever it
Yes.
was? And
Yes.
then she went from that to that one movie where she's in high school and she's hanging out with the gangbangers.
Oh. Oh, man, I just drew a blank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally had a note like in my head of like, oh, I gotta mention this movie or that movie whenever I talk about Anne Hathaway, like The Devil Wears Prada. I thought she was
Yes.
excellent.
She's such a great actress and just
She
she
is.
was very good in this
And
in
she's
this
another one that
film.
I feel kind of gets like shat on by mainstream Hollywood, and she doesn't deserve it.
She's
She's
great.
really good.
I mean, my besties and I, she can be our other bestie. She's in
And
our
she was a
circle.
good Catwoman as well.
I liked her Catwoman.
I
I
did
thought she
too.
was fun. I know some people were not happy with
She
it,
was
but I liked it.
it's the version of the Catwoman she was playing.
Yeah, I like it.
And
I
that's what
like
it boils down to. I mean, we get these Batman movies or these superhero movies, and they don't necessarily focus in on like they go, okay, we have this story from this comic book, we're going to tell it, and this is how the characters are in it. They don't really do that. So they kind of do a hodgepodge of them. See what I did there? Hodgepodge. Shout out
yeah.
to those guys. Hodgepodge Tastic right there in
Hodgepodge
Texas.
tastic. Yes.
Great
Go check
people over there, by the way.
and go check them out. If you really want a true Funko store, they
They are
are
pure
great.
Funko. I have a Crow Funko signed by the man, and I also got my Crow book signed by James O'Coffey, I think is his name.
James O'Barr, yes.
Yes, O'Bar. So big shout out to them. And like she took extreme care with everything. She got it packaged nicely. She made sure it arrived in minty condition. So mad props to her and the team over
Yes.
there at Hodgepodge
They
Tastic.
have if you need a Funko Pop, they are the
They
place to
probably got
go
it.
and they ship. They got it. They got a huge
Yep.
collection. So and if you're around Texas, they also are at some of the cons. So
Hmm.
go by. Their display is amazing. And of course, Sarah and Chris are
They're
wonderful
good
people.
people.
We love them.
Yes. Yes.
So they're good friends of ours. So we love them.
And eventually we're going to get them on here eventually. And we're going to talk to them and talk about the Funkos and talk about cons. And
Oh
so
yeah, they're great. You have a good time with them on because Chris is hilarious. I love him. He has a great sense of humor. My face hurts from laughing after we all hang out.
like they look like they're both like such fun individuals. So
They
that's one of
are.
those where I'm like, all right, eventually I'm going to get them on Yeah, but they stay traveling. Like they're always, it feels like, here and there on a cruise. So mad props to them.
I
They look
know.
like they're having the time of their lives. It's awesome. So with
Yes.
the time of our lives being said, Amanda, final shots and thoughts before we wrap it up.
All I have to say is I am happy to be a nerd. Right now we have new Star Wars. We're getting like re-energized predators, aliens. We are getting, like there's so much happening. I'm like, we're getting so much good stuff here, and it is a real treat right now.
I mean, we got excellent video game adaptations coming
Yeah.
to the screen, both big and small.
We got killer
I mean,
animated series that are coming. I'm like, I don't even know right now. I don't know if I have enough hours in the day, and that's a great
we
problem to have.
don't, and that's the best problems to have.
And I'm just here like be open minded. Let's see what we got. And again, especially with Star Wars,
Hey Joseph,
it's
thanks for stopping by, man. We really appreciate it.
yes,
We really appreciate having your theories, and hope we'll see how they play out, man. That was great having you. Thank you. But
yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, what about you, Jeff? What are your final thoughts?
um I'm excited. We're getting new Star Wars in a new era that we've never gotten before. Um Honestly, there's just so much great shit coming out, and there's not enough time in the day between having to adult and do what it is that we love to do, which is talk about nerd things and watch nerd things and play video games and come on here live and talk about it all. I wish we could do it more often, but honestly, adulting and getting the kid off to college, I got graduation next weekend, or
Ah,
actually this coming up weekend. So I mean,
congratulations.
man, it's hard to believe it's already that time. So I'm pretty sure I'll be emotional more so next week.
We'll check on
So
you. We'll check on you.
please check in on me. I'm not going to be doing okay next week.
Don't worry. We'll get you. We'll have you when we have you next week. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Bill and I will take care of you.
Let,
Don't
let's
worry.
let's plug away. Hey Brian, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for everybody who jumped in and tuned in. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Jeff, for having me. It's always a pleasure and it's always a
Absolutely.
great time. And we are looking forward to having you. So I am the co-host of two different podcasts on the Socially Distanced podcast or podcasting network. You can find us on all. I'm sorry, I said Socially Distanced, but Socially Distanced does have its own stream. That's
It
one of
does.
the podcasts I'm on. But Anime Pop is on the Pop Break
Mm-hmm.
on all streaming platforms. So Socially Distanced, I co-host with Bill Bodkin, and we talk about all kinds of things pop culture related. We cover different
BCP
shows.
plus Hall of Famer Bill
That's
Botkin.
right. That's right. Which also plug for BCP plus because the crew over there,
Killing
amazing,
it.
killing it,
Killing it.
covering wrestling, covering UFL,
UFL,
all the things.
baseball,
Yes. So give them a follow on all their
indie
socials too.
wrestling.
Yes.
They have
And
great
even
coverage over
mainstream,
there.
even
Even
mainstream,
mainstream, but
interviewed some WWE
yep,
talent as
they've
well.
had
So
a fantastic year, and I'm not gonna lie to nobody. We here at the DFPN, we're only into June, and we are having a fucking fantastic 2024. Had the pleasure of being on one of Amanda's other shows,
yes.
Saturday
So
Morning Adventures, which was
yeah.
a great
So
time with Alex.
yes, we had a great time with you too. And so yeah, so Jeff was on the episode that dropped today.
Yep.
We have one of our newer podcasts on the network. It's called Saturday Morning Adventures, and we have rotating guest hosts actually from several of our contributors to the popbreak.com and their friends. So I was able to host this episode on the series final season really and series
Mm-hmm.
finale of the Bad Batch. Jeff was our special guest along with our director of our podcasting network, Alex Marcus. And so more to come in terms of what's going to be coming, but the show, the podcast actually covers different shows from the past and some of those from the present. It's the shows that you grew up watching as a kid and like hanging out, and then the cartoons that are still giving us life today. So lots to come. I was kind of looking at the lineup. I think we're covering the Owl House. Bill's going to be on hosting several episodes on Bluey, so it's going to
Bill and
be
Bluey,
great.
man, I'm
I mean,
telling you.
Bluey's a good show. I'm just saying, as a parent, I enjoyed it. It's not one of those that you suffer through
I
for
didn't
your
get
kids.
I didn't get Bluey. I got So during the formidable years for my daughter, we were living in Korea. So she
Yeah.
got Pororo, the
Nice.
penguin,
Yes.
and she was raised on like the Korean cartoons, and it helped
Aw.
her. She's bilingual. Well, actually, I guess she's trilingual, but
Oh,
it
that's
helped her
awesome.
learn Korean. And then when she took Spanish in high school, so she speaks Spanish as well. So
Yeah. So again, yeah, thanks for joining us on Saturday Morning Adventures. And then of course we're socially distanced. We talk about everything Marvel, Star Wars. We even talked about Bridgerton. We will be talking
that
about
was
House
a
of the Dragon.
funny fucking episode, by the
That was
way.
chaotic. That was pure chaos, and we loved it.
It
We loved
was,
it.
but I have not watched Bridgerton, but by
Oh,
the end of that episode y'all did, I was like, all right, I got to see the hype now. So now I'm about
yeah.
to. It's on the
We
list, and I will go down that road eventually.
we have two. We have two episodes on Bridgerton that we covered. My sister hosted the first one where she kind of like what Ben did with Peaky Blinders. She kind of did an outline for us of what you, if you haven't watched all of Bridgerton, here's some of the key things that you can watch to help you prep for season 3. And then the second episode was on the chaos post season 3 premiere. So, but yeah, we talk about all kinds of things, and have a cavalcade of different characters and guests and all kinds of stuff. Like we have a fun summer planned, covering we call it the House of the Acolyte. Since we're going to be doing dual coverage on the Acolyte and House of Dragon as those episodes drop. We're going to be looking at Beetlejuice, Agatha. We're going to be talking football. So lots happening, and that's the socially distanced with myself and Bill Botkin. I am also the co-host of Anime Pop with Josh Sarnecki, which he also has several shows, including the Anniversary Brothers and the TV Break on the Pop Break. And so Anime Pop, we talk about all kinds of anime news. We talk about our recommendations for the month with our special guests, and then highlight a particular anime that we are interested in that's trending right now. So we just recorded our episode for this month. That should be dropping here in the next week and a half, I think. And it's going to be on this current season of Demon Slayer. So we're talking about
Good
that
choice.
with Michelle Chapman from our Roses and Rejections podcast. So we did Demon Slayer. Our last episode that's currently streaming right now was on My Hero Academia. This
Another good
season
choice.
premiere. Yeah, we had a Marshall and Courtney Stevenson from the Blurred Watchers podcast, which theirs is fantastic as well. And we've talked about Kaiju number 8. We've talked about Solo Leveling. We've talked about
Kaiju number 8's good too.
It's
I read that
fantastic.
one with my daughter.
Oh, so good. The anime is outstanding as well. So
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
it's my anime of the year so far. Hands
Really?
down. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All right.
I lots of love for Kaiju number 8
I have to check it
over
out.
here. Yeah, so we've covered a lot of the different shows on Anime Pop, and so very, very excited. We're excited for y'all to hear our Demon Slayer when that drops. But again, that is the Pop Break on all streaming platforms and socially distanced
Yep.
on all streaming platforms. And of course, check out thepopbreak.com as well, our
Yep.
website where we're dropping different articles. We have our podcast listed.
Daily.
Exactly. So all the news that you're looking for as well. And we're always happy to partner, of course, with USDN. And
Yeah,
of
we
course,
appreciate it.
yeah, so very, very excited. So check us out. We're all on all social medias as well at the Pop Break, except for YouTube, which I believe is at thepopbreak.com.
It is, yeah, at thepopbreak.com.
Yeah, so check us out. And of course, you can follow me at Amandalorian on Instagram and Threads. I also we have a couples cosplay account, Brandon and I, that is at Brandalorian, and that's on Instagram. And of course, I'm at Resner's Chick on X because I'm a Trent Reznor fan for life.
They got
One
a
of my
new
old
album
friends.
coming out here
I
soon.
know, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've been listening to the
I've
Challenger
been waiting
soundtrack.
for it.
I've listened to Challenger soundtrack. It's giving me life right now. Trent knows me. He knows I love music. So he's just, as long as he's dropping
He's got a
anything, I'm
restraining
happy.
order against you from the way it sounds.
Probably. So I love him. He's my music bae. So yeah, so that's at Reser's Chick on X. And then of course, my significant other is at Brandon Rice Wrestling on all socials except X. He is at Havoc 1775. So but that is it for me. And again, thank you again for having me, Jeff. And we're excited to have you next week. Jeff's episode on the Acolyte. We're gonna be talking about episode 3. We're gonna be talking about that, and that should be dropping next Friday.
And I'm hoping I get to make an appearance for all the rest of the episodes. That will be fun. And then for us over here at USDN, tonight was our first 2 episodes of the Acolyte. We will reconvene on the Acolyte at the end of the season for a route party where I will have Amanda probably back. I will probably have Rob and probably Frank D, because we always got to have the hill. So with that, I think we'll be back here at USDN in maybe 2 weeks, depending on the schedule and what's out. But we'll be discussing more nerd news, more rumors, and trailers, because we love talking about trailers to shit that comes out. But with that, everybody, I want to thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us. We had a nice showing tonight. Appreciate everybody that was commenting and leaving their thoughts and ideas, and we got some great ones tonight. I appreciate everybody sticking around and watching with us. We had intended them being about a 90-minute show, but we exceeded that by about an hour. So thanks for sticking with us, everybody. So I want to send a big thanks to DFPN as always. We are having a killer 2024. And as always, we appreciate your feedback. Leave us a like, subscribe, and share. And with that, everybody, on behalf of myself, Amanda, and the Pop Break, this show is USDN approved.
It's a trap!